Nest and On Edge, and we find ourselves at the beginning of Tuesday, 21st, I think. I switched maps and oh yeah, so that'll be revealed shortly. But yeah, so April 21st, 2076. There we go. That's the correct date. Um, the evening before, Whiskey, Pirate, and West End Mike went and met with Montison, and it was a interesting encounter, to say the least. Whiskey decided she wants to go take a nap and try to recover a little. Um, Pirate just, I guess, went back to Astral Security.
Mm-hmm.
And West End Mike went back to Sybil. And the two of them, I guess, got a quick nap before heading over to Parsons' penthouse the next morning.
Yeah, probably.
Or long haul. Some long haul.
That'll probably happen anyway, but yeah.
Right. So as they're riding up the elevator, Pirate, are you awake in the astral or in the physical right now?
How early in the morning is this?
Probably around 8 a.m., which is later than usual for Parson to actually wake up on a weekday. So
I guess I would be in the middle of doing the morning replacement of spirits for the watches and stuff like that.
that's a very good point. Yep. Okay. Well, that only takes actually like a couple minutes at most. So
Oh,
because it's a complex action to summon a spirit. So
okay. So after that, I guess I'd just be sitting there enjoying some morning coffee then.
okay. So I guess in the dining living room area, or did you bring your coffee over to the big comfy chair?
I go for the big comfy chair because I don't see sitting over there.
Well, okay. Pretend that there's like bar stools and chairs around the table.
Considering my height and considering this place it is, it would be kind of hard for me. You don't probably have gnome-friendly stools.
the coffee table is your height. Okay.
Yeah, so probably be like close to something where I don't have to be like comedically, literally having to climb up to sit down and climb back down.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Grim, what time would you like? You're just waiting for Sybil to show up to change shifts. Is that it?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
I'm guessing it'd be the morning shift change because since I was
Yeah,
up all night,
exactly.
I'd probably be like,
And then you'd want to nap for at least 3 hours and get back to work. Okay. Prodigy,
Yeah.
you don't need as much sleep as anyone else, so you're probably busting in VR right now. Okay. And the mysterious Killjoy has evaporated into the ether of the London fog.
I think he's right here. He's right here.
Just call him a clown and he will appear.
Clown!
Oh, like every man I'm always with, they just stab you and then disappear.
No, nothing like that. It will be just this random number from your comlink calling, saying when you answer, "It's Jester," and hanging up.
Call back, clown. Hang up.
No. The number you have dialed is in use.
In any event, Wolf
Oh.
realized that Parson wasn't awake yet, and he basically, I think he trusts. Who does he trust the most? Would it be West End Mike or Grimm? He's developed more of a rapport with West End Mike, I think. So he would have sent a text message to West End Mike saying, Parson isn't answering my page. His biomonitor still says he's all right, but he's usually up and in his office by now. I'm going to try to get into his room. Grimm has definitely been very professional, but Grimm is liked by Lawrence, and Wolf. Well, he realizes Grimm doesn't like Lawrence. She's still it's too close for comfort for him. But yeah, so what would Mike's response be to Wolf?
I would tell them to let whoever's on shift know so that if there's a problem, they can come into the room with you. Other than that, go ahead. We're on. I'm on my way up.
Okay. Well, Grimm's right there. Wolf Davy, well, I guess he'd leave those doors open because he's a little bit concerned. Whoop, door slides that way. There we go. Just a slight smidge. Great. And he's basically knocking on the door. So, Grimm, I think you can put 2 and 2 together pretty easily there. Grimm asks, need any help? And she gets up to investigate. Wolf Davy isn't frantic. He's just politely knocking on Parsons' door and saying, "Sir, are you up? Sir, are you awake?" And I suppose, Frosty, your time to take over.
Very well. Moments would go by and the door would open. Well, Arson being slightly confused.
Give me a visual perception, Grimm.
I just had another stupid idea.
Well, is Grimm actively keeping her eyes open? Basically, you as players get to decide active unless it's in a situation where you're obviously distracted or you're doing something else actively. Active perception is just your way of saying, I'm dedicating all of my efforts to looking around right now. So, oh yeah, Grimm, you can definitely see he's got a paper in one hand and parchment in the other. The paper is kind of crumpled sideways, like not into a ball, but when you squeeze a paper around it's like, so it's a tube, if you know what I mean. Sorry, what was that?
When you crunch it, the midsection.
Yeah, in the midsection. Meanwhile, the parchment is rolled neatly in a tube. Diablo, are you typing something right now?
Yes.
What's that? Grimm says, what are those? She asks, kind of confused. He has a weird morning routine here. And also roll a judge intentions, please, Grimm.
Is
Wow. Okay. So, Frosty, you had a question there?
No. I was going to answer Grimm.
All right. Well, before you answer verbally, why don't you just go ahead and describe what Grimm sees in front of her as she looks towards Parsons' bedroom, as far as your present personality and emotional state reveal from the expression on your face, your body language. Just bare your soul to her.
It is obvious that Arson is extremely confused. Like, it looks like he doesn't know where he is, who he is, and tries to see Wolf and you there. Like, he's sort of like out of it, but still there, if you get what I mean. And he's not panicking or anything. He's just wandering a little bit. Like something's not quite right.
Grim's gonna say, Wolf, I think this is another case of the pen. And Wolf will look over his shoulder at Grim, look back at Parson, and just kind of stumble backwards slightly. And Grim says, I mean, last time with the pen, when he was, yeah. And Wolf glances back again and then to Grim and says, Sir, do you know who I am?
You are. I think we met before. I think we met before.
All right, sir, just come in, take a seat here. And he points at the chair at the desk. And he says, I'm going to make a call for Dockwagon. Please relax. And Grim, you can tell Wolf Davy is not handling this fantastically well, but he's still holding himself together enough not to have an emotional breakdown. He's going to look to Grim and say, do something? And he's going to basically get into the corner and switch into AR mode and attempt to do another Dockwagon call. Grim sends a text to the other Shadowrunners saying, we could use help in here. Pirate, get your tiny arson here now. Make sure those Dockwagon people are vetted. She would say, oh, to Wolf Davy. Yep. Okay. And Grim, you go over to Parson to help him get into a comfy seat.
Please don't. I don't know who you are. And he basically like a step back. I don't know.
El Diablo, we wouldn't be able to hear you. Please don't interrupt. So what were you saying, Frosty?
I was saying that please, as he seems to be trying to basically take my hand and take me to a chair. Please don't touch me. I don't know who you are. I don't know where I am, what's going on. Why are you calling me sir?
Okay, and Grim says, all right, don't worry. She steps back and she says, this is your office. She backs off, holding out both her hands non-threateningly. Just figured you might want to sit down. As if you're confused, it's best to be stable.
I'm fine, thank you. As he's trying to just find the words to describe how he feels at the moment.
Okay. Sybil, Mike, you would have arrived at this point. You've also would have received Grim's text message, basically.
As soon as I saw my sister in the hallway, I just told her to go watch the door and make sure no one leaves or enters.
No one, eh? Okay.
I'm pretty sure Whiskey's not that stupid. Even though my sister's apparently gone full Frankenstein's monster.
Well,
Grim says, Grim says, you're fine, but you're confused. You don't know us right now or your own apartment, so please just try to relax. And Prodigy, you're saying something?
Not Prodigy.
Oh, sorry, it was Hunter?
I was going to say, in regards to Whiskey not being that bad, gotta remember, she just woke up.
And she hasn't had her wake-up juice yet.
Wake up.
Her
juice.
Irish coffee.
Oh, God. Prodigy, you're in VR and you've received this message, so what's up with you?
I have no idea. I don't know where to, like... Sorry, actually, which mission specifically?
Sorry, what?
For some reason, I was thinking it's from Grim.
The text message from Grim saying earlier that, where was it?
Yeah.
We could use help in here. Pirate, get your tiny arse in here now. But she sent that text to everybody.
Because then Roger would get up and send her a confirmation and start coming over.
All right, and Frosty, go ahead and say what your character in this situation is saying.
You do realize how counterintuitive that sounds, right? You don't know us, so relax.
Grim sends another text saying he's confused again, like before in the office. He doesn't recognize us. Sybil, you run immediately, I guess, to the door by the looks of it.
Yeah.
As ever, the door is locked from the outside, and no one has entrusted anyone on your team with access. Basically, it's been Lawrence who's been the one letting you in and out.
And Lawrence is
letting
past
us in.
that.
Sybil is letting us in.
You're going to try and hack it?
The wall's glass, right?
Yes,
Even with
even the doors are glass. So, Whiskey, you can see both of them.
so that means Whiskey could let us in.
Yeah, she could. But she was literally just told by Perrette, don't let anyone in or out.
Yeah, no, but she would let them in.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I don't think my sister's gone full Frankenstein's monster.
All right, so I'll just put all of you together in the living room area.
But yeah, she, didn't have a good night's sleep since, well, she got stabbed. And, the wake-up juice and just texted awake, so not a bad mood, in a good mood.
Also, this apartment, the doors are really small for you. You have to
Yeah.
step through them sideways.
Yeah, which also would not feel nice with the stab wounds and all that.
Okay, so Grim says, yes, I mean that you should know us, but at the moment don't know your personal assistant, pointing to Davy casually, or your hired bodyguards. You remember that you are a politician, correct? This could be stress. Pirate, you get in at that point, and apparently you're huffing and puffing and asking, what is it? You aren't checking your messages, apparently. But go ahead and roll your your OCD perception. And Parson, you may reply to Grim.
I'm a politician? Why do I have hired bodyguard? What is all this? Can you at least explain to me what is going on here? Am I here? Who am I?
Grim says this is your office, the office of Max Parson, yourself. Your personal office connected to your personal quarters of your personal residence.
I'm Max Parson? But that doesn't still answer why do I need a guard.
Grim says all politicians have bodyguards. It's just the way things work. And Pirate, with your active perception, well, you get to choose here. Where would she be focusing her attention when she barges into the room?
Be honestly parsing, because Grim would be the one telling her that something's going on with parsing.
Okay. So you will hone in on the two items in his hands, but you won't be listening to the conversation, basically. Your OCD has got you focused on a physical object while your ears basically just shut off.
Well, I also have the hearing impairment.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so. Okay. No, I'm in Charlie Brown. No.
By the way, the rest of you could move your tokens a bit further. You could be at the entrance, most likely, as Pirate. Are you just staying where you are, or are you moving further into the room?
I'm moving it further into the room, and as I move further into the room, I'm then going to be doing an sensing roll to see if there's anything magical going on. Because there shouldn't be, because considering my ward.
Whiskey's going to look in the fridge.
Fuck, that's how a professional bodyguard works.
Sister is bad professional. Still the OCD impairment?
In the astral, not really, because you're looking for something in particular here, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, what kind of politician is arson is? And you can see a little bit of like the name tastes bad in this.
Also, a bunch of other people just came into the room,
Yeah.
not Parson, air quotes. And Pirate, your sensing will tell you the basic emotional state of this man is distinctly upset and confused, and his aura has actually shifted, kind of like it's an inverted version of what Parson was earlier. It's still the same aura, but it's topsy-turvy. And Grim says, a rather competent and successful politician. Roll a... is that an etiquette, I guess? Yeah, Grim, go ahead and roll an etiquette. Okay, so it's definitely clear to you, Frosty, that this woman seems to believe that this Parson individual is competent and successful, but still something isn't sitting right with you about this whole situation. Pirate rolling a magical theory on topsy-turvy aura. Usually something of this nature has a magical cause at its root, as far as Pirate is aware. However, as she just witnessed, there is no magical signature present in this office, other than her own in the form of the ward. There has been no breach of the ward. While magic is the most likely, okay, I'm going to hear weird sounds, but while magic is the most likely cause for something of this nature, Pirate, you feel confident that severe trauma could potentially also explain this. However, you only did basic medicine, or did you even do any kind of medicine? Do you have any medicine?
The only
knowledge,
medical role I've done has been taking care of someone who conked their head on the coffee table.
Yes,
AKA.
no, but I mean in school, did you do any major, do you have a knowledge skill representing
Biology.
biology? You do have biology?
Yeah.
Okay, then go ahead and make a roll there as well.
Yeah, I have biology, chemistry, and engineering.
Okay, so if you have biology, by all means. Okay, so it wasn't really your forte. After all, you were there for chemistry more than biology, but you did have to do some biology in school. And yeah, trauma, but usually it's not an instant sort of thing. Usually it's progressive, like the aura changes over time. It's not the sort of thing where it just happens. That's typically the work of magic. Still, it's not without precedent. There have been situations, much like in our real world when someone has brain trauma, that they spontaneously develop a new language, or they speak or communicate in ways that they didn't previously. So, similarly, there have been reports, not all of them substantiated, that an individual's aura after a traumatic experience, physically or mentally, can be severely altered in a hurry.
Okay.
Mike, Sybil, you've reached the room. Did you want to get in on this?
Yeah. I'd sit down, grab a sheet of paper and his feathered pen, since that seemed to help last time, and start asking him questions like, well, what's the last thing you remember before you woke up here?
Can I? Sorry.
Remember.
Well, what is that, Twister?
Sorry, I was going to ask, can I roll perception for anything on the desk?
By all means. Like, anybody who wants to roll perception, passive perception's acceptable at any time. Active perception if you are spending the time and effort to actively look.
Sybil is going to do an active scan, see if there's any wireless signals in the room that.
Frosty, why don't you go ahead and say that out loud?
I think I remember seeing people, then backing out. Now just being in this room, standing.
Grim will send a text to the others. He has a scroll and a paper in his hands. Perhaps it's another issue that sent him into the curious state, in quotes. Prodigy, with Grim's direction, you will see the note and the parchment in his, one in each hand of Parson. Was there anything else you were looking for in particular?
Anything? Did it look like anything was spilled on the desk?
Spilled, you said?
Like ink?
No.
Okay.
Sybil taking 4 stun damage.
Yep.
Pirate will, I guess, drop out of Astral and then text to everyone. We're going to need his complete medical record at this point. Either some super subtle magic is at work, or his has some ongoing trauma going on we were never informed of.
Oh, he has some ongoing trauma.
Yeah, she threads that she's gonna sit down.
Or, the medical professionals that just helped, that we didn't vet, did something.
That was before the medical event, before the previous dog wagon people came in.
I mean, with note 2 being discovered?
May I offer OC theory here?
Sure, go ahead.
What if, like, he has those in his bedroom? He basically has like monitors, right? That display art and such.
Yes, exactly. All the walls are AR enhanced.
What if they get hacked during the night and he basically is during his sleep is being put
Subliminal
into kind of a
messages.
brainwash type of thing?
That takes a long time. And debatably how that works is debated whether that even works or not.
except if you pre-program triggers. Anyway, Grim Dockwagon, if Davy is on the what? Project Kid, you're in charge of them. I think Grim's saying Davy has contacted Dockwagon and they're on their way. Prodigy, you are in charge of them. Double check and see what you can't get off of them. By the way, at this point, Davey, who has been in a conversation on his comlink this whole time with Dogwagon, trying to say, yes, it's a yes, it's like last time. Yes, I want your best people. Yes, make sure they're vetted. And he's, kind of stressed with them, but he's not losing his cool completely. But he slips his hand over top the receiver and then asks the whole room, where the fuck is Lawrence? And then gets back onto his comlink with Dockwagon.
Okay, then Sybil's gonna also scan looking for Lawrence's comlink.
Lawrence's comlink is still in his bedroom. His biomonitor states he is asleep.
Lawrence's comlink states he's in his bedroom and asleep.
Yeah, but you'd have to send that as an AR message. Wolf Davy isn't checking his AR right now.
He sends that to everybody.
Okay. I imagine then Grim, also receiving that message, turns to Mike and says, go get that guy now. Mike, are you going to take orders from Grim?
Sure, yeah. I'll get him. I won't run. Don't want to upset the very confused person anymore, but I'll get up and, well, or more accurately, I'll wait until out of line of sight. Oh, go find Lawrence.
Parson, quote unquote, you overheard
Mike.
Grim say, go get that guy now. And Mike, as you run past Whiskey, she apparently calls out to you.
What's going on with the elf guy? With Parsons?
Apparently the same thing that happened after when he found the second note. He doesn't remember who he is.
Huh. And where are you going?
Find Lawrence.
Oh, okay, I'll stay with the door then.
All right, Mike, you see that Lawrence's door is wide open.
I will not bother asking permission to enter.
Okay. Yes, all of the doors basically in his entire little bachelor is open right now. And he is half tangled with his sheets, asleep in his bed. He is wearing his shades in bed, but they're kind of crooked on his head.
Really?
Whiskey might actually be a better security person than Lawrence.
That's not difficult.
No, Sybil's better at it than Lawrence.
You'll be able to rouse Lawrence, and he'll be like, huh? What the hell, man? You're in my room.
Yeah, well, all the doors are open. Your boss doesn't remember who he is, so I think that's okay.
Huh? What do you mean?
Remember when we had to call Doc Wagon to check on him after that note was found? Same thing again, it looks like.
Wow, that's remarkable for Lawrence. So it only takes him a couple of seconds before he's like, oh shit! And he's gonna basically jump out of bed. He's in boxers. And he just kind of pauses as he's like, okay, do I get dressed or do I not get dressed? Shit.
I think that
And he decides not getting dressed. And we'll start running to go now. So
Oh
you were
god,
gonna
we're
say
gonna see
something out of
things of Lawrence we
character?
don't want to see.
yes.
I'd like to
Hang
see
on
them.
onto the sheets as he tries to jump out of bed. Since
No, he manages to get out of bed okay. Where he loses time is trying to figure out, do I get dressed or not? Which I'm sure Mike could read from Lawrence's facial expression. But, whether or not Mike tells him, hurry it up or not, it's still going to take him a bit of time to decide.
I'll tell him grab some pants. That'll be good enough.
Well, the
Oh.
reason why I was asking that is it would have been funny if he fell flat on his face.
Might have been funny, but we also don't want to, make things even more awful. And if Lawrence were Tuesday, you would have hoped Pyrette's magical auras, her wards, would have detected a adept crossing through them.
Okay, yeah, that's mostly what I was wondering.
Not to mention that if Tuesday is Lawrence, it's to ditch the assassin gig and become an actor.
And honestly, like, he's such a fuck up. Why would a professional assassin be this much of a fuck up too?
Well, to strike when it's unexpected. I made a whole character kind of based on that.
You mean
Boredom?
Prax? Sorry. But we'll zoom back to the room because this would be happening meanwhile. So Frosty, what were you saying?
What Grim and other people have said. I mean,
Describe what Parson is doing.
yeah. Oh. He's basically standing in the doorway as there are people ran in and then West and Mike ran out and he's just looking at people. A little less confused, but still confused. And then he realizes that he's holding stuff in his hand. And he just looks at them and just goes to the table, puts them on the table, and just starts leaning with both hands the desk, like he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Does he uncrumple the paper?
Well, he just put them on the table in front of him.
Okay. So does anyone go to retrieve those documents?
I think Sybil's a little busy scanning for wireless signals to get up, especially since she's in.
Oh, Grim says, what do you have there? And she asks calmly.
They are notes. This thing.
The note and the portrait?
Mm-hmm. I'm not quite certain what this other.
Grim says, do you mind if we take a look at them?
Sure. I don't see what this. He looks quite lost. He doesn't know what to think of the situation.
Do you mind if I investigate room to see if we could find anything in there?
Yeah. Just take a look.
Grim turns to Pyrette. Would you mind taking a look at them? She turns to Sybil. Hey, Couch Potato, mind checking this out with us? But
Sybil's in VR.
yeah, but Grim's still saying that to her. Doesn't change that Grim's calling her a couch potato. So Grim, you're not touching the documents. You're having Pyrette do that for you. Okay, and Prodigy, yeah, go ahead and sneak into the room. Oh no, actually, you know what?
I physically asked, got it okay.
Yes, but Wolf Davy is here, so that's where I'm.
Ah,
Yes, so I'm going to do another composure for him, and he's basically going to stand in the doorway, half in, half out, and he's going to keep an eye on you and an eye, like he's going to constantly look back and forth to keep a track on both situations. Okay. Pirate, so you go over and you look at the documents.
Where
So,
exactly are the documents on the map?
right where Parson is, but I'm just bumping you all over to actually look at the picture on the other map. Did
So
it
the
automatically
picture is in the rolled parchment?
Yes, and
Okay.
the text document, handwritten like before, says, "You can't run nor can you hide, but you can wait for your demise, Parson. Our little game of hide and seek is coming to an end, but that does not mean your suffering is over. Can you imagine someone like me carving you out in front of a mirror so you can see every single agonizing cut? Now reflect on the idea of me going through your brain, slowly taking everything away, oozing and bleeding, unable to do anything as you were made into our plaything, being controlled like a flesh puppet. Ripping you apart will be a bittersweet moment. All you have ever known and loved will be ripped to shreds by us. Count on it, sham." And out of character, you have uncovered that it says carbon copy, and that the parchment portrait, it's titled Portrait of Parson with Stars Dotting the Dashing Night Sky. And it's got this really kind of lame pixelated night sky in the background, but in the foreground is a rather, this is where Pirate would have her epiphany about the horrors and the kind of Cthulhian aspect of this. And the portrait of Parson, his head is hollowed out, and this horrible entity is crawling out of his empty skull. So Pirate react accordingly. We can then jump back to the penthouse, and
Yay.
I just realized
what did you just realize?
the title of the painting. It kind of reveals they're supposed to look for Morse code.
Yes, yes, it did.
Yep.
Yeah. But the answer to both is the exact same thing, which is carbon copy.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
But yeah, I got 9 hits, and he's also looking with cryptochromic. Although I understand that the walls are aligned with AR screens, he's still going to look for anything that is abnormal along them as well.
Yep, but Wolf's not really letting you get too far into the room. If you try to, he will shout at you. But as long as you're just looking around the room, he won't object. And at the moment, all of the AR walls are shut off. But they still have power running to them. They're just switched into a standby off mode right now. The bookshelves and the dresser drawer cabinets, those things, they all appear normal. The bed appears normal. There's a bathroom door across from you that you would know the bathroom's in there because you had received the blueprints for the penthouse from the security liaison. So from what you can see, Prodigy, it is a perfectly normal bedroom.
Anything
for
on
a
the ceiling?
penthouse. Yeah, no, ceiling's fine. You could even get down on your hands and knees and peek under the bed. Wolf Davy won't be too upset about that as long as you don't crawl under the bed. But even still, looking under the bed, you don't see anything. Out of the ordinary, that is.
Does Sybil's scan find any wireless signals that shouldn't be there?
Nope, nothing out of the ordinary as far as Wi-Fi.
So she'll finally come out of VR.
And Twister, what was this moved a second time that you didn't realize?
Sorry?
You said you moved it a second time. I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
Out of Nest, out of on Edge, you are the dummy note, the derp threat. I didn't realize. I thought it was moved to directly above Parsons' head, and in my head I was like, oh no, it was moved from there. So you moved it once, but I thought you moved it to on top of Parsons' head instead of from on top of Parsons' head. There's out of character. There's room for 2 more notes.
That is meta gaming.
No.
And you might be reading too far into something that might not actually be my OCD.
Potentially.
I think the derp thread is in Mike's pocket somewhere, right?
I believe so.
So, Pyrette's eyes go wide as she looks at the picture and is going to fold it up and put it in her left back pocket. Why don't you go ahead and just say what Pyrette says?
Wait, this message is the first time it uses we or our, as in multiple people being referenced here. This is no longer just from the writer to Parson. There's more people involved now.
Grim asks, so you suspect it's a different author? At that point, Mike, you can be reaching the room with Lawrence. Frosty's character right now raises an eyebrow.
Or as we seem ever closer to the crescendo of all of this, it seems like there's more than one person involved in this.
Grim says, we still have the issue that Parson isn't well right now.
Prodigy would probably at this point walk back out.
And Wolf would make sure.
Before you go in there, Prodigy, Pirate's gonna mention, do you happen to see any stationery in there?
Pen and paper and that sort of stuff. No, you
No,
don't.
no, I know. I didn't know if I was gonna make. Okay. He's like, he raises his hand. And he's like, just saying, but this one has a similar cipher to the first note. The capital.
Well,
letters.
out of character, you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but he heard it, and he probably
Oh.
had it.
Did Pyrette say it out loud? I don't think she did.
I would have read it
No,
out
she
loud.
didn't
And,
slate it.
no,
Oh,
I
no,
said,
sorry, I thought
I
she
said,
said-
she looked at the picture first. She would unroll the parchment, then fold that up and put it in her pocket, and then she would just go over the message real quick. So unless you're paying attention to the camera feed, she would say this, and then she would mention this. But if asked, she would then start reading it out loud.
Well, you won't get the chance to read it out loud before West End Mike comes back. West End Mike, if you want to weigh in on what's going on here.
And everybody gets an AR message saying, no wireless signals in here that aren't supposed to be.
I do have one quick question before we get into that. Where is the title on that picture? Is it like written on the
Click
back?
on, if you click on, oh, yes, you mean, okay. Yes, it was basically handwritten on the back in cursive.
And I'm guessing, although obviously haven't seen it in character yet, that they matched the handwriting on the note.
It does indeed match the handwriting on the note.
Which means it matches Parsons, from what I recall.
What? What are you talking
Does
about? You compared Parsons' handwriting to the notes, did not match.
Oh, okay.
At least none of you are experts in handwriting, but when you looked at it and your technology looked at it, didn't detect any, there were no signs that it was written by the same person. Maybe if you
Okay.
had an expert, they'd say otherwise, but none of your characters feel that that idea is particularly needing to be challenged.
And none of us in character even has connections to someone who's a handwriting expert.
Grim does. She works at a police department. They've got specialists up the wazoo.
Well, I meant
But Frosty, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So you're saying there's multiple nodes?
The way that it was originally worded to him is that it's normal for him to have bodyguards. We haven't told him that he's got assailants potentially coming after him.
This is out of character, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, in character, I think the first thing is, all right, guys, we got a bunch of people in here. Let's anybody who doesn't need to be here, go keep an eye on the front door and wait and check over the dock wagon people when they get there. Dibble,
Frosty,
Pirate, Reggie. And I kind of point my thumb towards the front door. And Lawrence is there, so yeah, Lawrence, let's get us as many people out of this room as we can.
okay, but Frosty, roll 11 SR4 first, please.
I'll just take the note and start leaving.
Damn.
So Frosty, something happens that you've already been told what happens in advance.
Okay. So, as
Pirate, you're not going to get a chance to get that far before Parson comes back.
yeah. So, probably somebody's perceptive as Lawrence.
Well, yeah.
comes
So,
to-
well, you weren't supposed to reveal that. But everybody can roll judge intentions now, and those of you who get enough hits will realize in character that the sight of Lawrence is what's going to trigger this. But oh, Prodigy.
Holy shit!
Um,
Well, if you look at it, it probably doesn't have a clear view of it.
yeah, no, but it's a glitch. So Prodigy has
It's
to
a
get the
critical.
wrong. It's not critical. Prodigy has to get the wrong impression here. So.
It's all Mike.
Yeah, no, Prodigy, you're going to get the impression that Mike is actually causing this on Parson. Meanwhile, appropriately, Pirate doesn't read the emotions because she's got OCD.
She's too busy focusing
but-
on the note in the picture.
Grim and Mike, you're both going to be able to put two and two together pretty quickly. Sybil, you won't realize right this moment, but before the day is out, if no one tells you, you'll be able to piece it together.
And I'm not in the room, so I'm not gonna roll.
Frosty, go ahead.
Lawrence? What do I pay you for? There was these two notes in my room. You are a goddamn failure. I should kick you out right now, but this just... It's too important right now not to... 2 more notes.
How loud is Parsons, by the way?
Oh, he's plenty loud.
All right, then Whiskey shouts out all, "Yes, he is a failure."
That's a good out of character question. That the only way we can do this out of character wise is to just suddenly knock Lawrence out unconscious.
What is Whiskey's race again?
Formari, a type
Formari.
that's pretty.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Your troll is very mouthy.
Grim says, nothing came in this way, Mr. Parson. Whatever happened triggered while you were in your bedroom. I've been on an alert guard out here this entire time. Parson, how do you feel about Grimm's lippiness?
Then how the hell do you explain these goddamn notes? Obviously something's not working. And since my room has no windows, just one door, and you were supposed to look at it, I think what's giving out?
I thought there was supposed to be a.
There's a door to the bathroom, but that doesn't really trigger as another door. It's all part of his
I
bedroom.
said one door in.
Yeah, so.
Unless somebody crawled under your pipes, that doesn't really count.
Oh, out of character though, I think, Hunter, you're right. Originally I did suggest there was a second door, but I retconned that. There's only one way in and out of the bedroom now.
Yeah, because I think you once said that there was a door on this side that opened to the
Yes.
hallway.
Yes, but we're retconning that away, mainly because as a GM I failed to remember it.
How's Wolf reacting to this sudden shift back to Parson?
He's going to wait for a lull in the conversation, but it doesn't look like there's going to be one yet. Grimm says, something in there or outside is affecting you while you are in there. Something that didn't get by me, so there's something else. She quickly turns to Pirate. We need to magically sweep that room. Check for any trails.
Gladly.
Parson, are you going to let this little gnome walk past you into your private bedroom?
No!
Grimm adds, with his permission.
Out of character, he doesn't have to give me permission because I can just astrally project my way into there.
You could, but are you going to tell them that you're doing that?
No, I'm just saying that out of character, so even if he doesn't give us permission, we can just say fuck him and just do it anyway.
Haven't you already checked the room? He points at Grimm. And you yourself said that it was clear.
Grimm says, since this incident. By the way, Prodigy, are you literally just staying right where you are?
No, I just didn't want to interrupt by moving.
So then Prodigy is standing right where he is, because he doesn't want to interrupt.
We'll tell Lauren.
That works.
We'll tell Pirate would speak up to Parsons, just like, I haven't swept your room or anything magical going on since we first arrived here.
Well, wouldn't you pick up something like this further away, even? I don't know about magic. But I understand it. It's not. It leaves a mark.
Adam said, sir, we aren't sure what this is. You are not yourself for the past few minutes.
What the hell are you
And-
talking about?
And I explained to Parson that if it's been done properly, there are ways to scrub magical essence into no to just leave the effect and not leaving any trace of the cause.
And Grimm replies to Parson saying, you didn't even know who Wolf was, or who Parson was, or that you were a politician. So Grimm and Pirate, you're going to have a quick aside while Davy is going to basically motion for Prodigy to get out of the way in this direction. Okay. And he's going to come up and very gingerly, tentatively put a hand on Parsons' shoulder from behind and speak at the same time saying, sir, you've had another incident. Dockwagon's already on the way. How does Parson respond to Wolf?
I don't need no wagon right now. It's just it's me here now. And my privacy has already been what's the word?
Invaded?
Invaded, yes. Invaded by someone, something, leaving these 2 notes there. And I would rather have it left at that.
Grim says, yes, but do you not find it exceptionally troubling that you don't even remember not remembering yourself?
I don't remember not remembering.
Well, what do you remember after you found the note? Do you remember how you got to your desk?
Well, he's now realizing that he didn't read it.
And Mike's just gonna let that hang there.
And Wolf is going to try and encourage Parson to take a seat at his desk.
But anyway, with my judge intentions, I was looking for 2 things. The first one is, does this look like something Wolf has seen before recently? When he said you had another incident?
Well, no, just
just
as
the
far-
second one?
yeah, the one that you were all here for anyway.
Okay. The other thing was, does this look like a politician comforting, or an aide comforting his boss, or do they seem to be more intimate than that?
If there is an intimacy, it's going one way. And Parson is not being the most emotionally generous right now, if you catch my drift.
Gotcha.
But Mike, you're going to have to dig deeper if you want to verify anything. With 5 hits...
I don't want to verify. Yeah, this is a judge intentions. This isn't verification.
Oh, no, but I'm saying, with 5 hits, what you're witnessing, you could shrug off very easily as just the stress of the situation. It's not necessarily anything more than that right now.
Okay.
Grim says, look, sir, please, I apologize for the troubling nature of this, but you were just here in a different, I suppose, state. You were acting like another person and didn't recognize any of us, not even your assistant Wolf. Sorry, Kara, what do you mean about, didn't say anything about his nature? Oh, yeah, no, that hasn't come up, so, yeah. Okay. But yeah, Parson, so Grim has just laid it on you.
You're saying that I was like another person. Haven't you? No. Other than I didn't supposedly recognize.
While we wait for Kara to finish typing, Prodigy and Sybil, each of you from your various sources will find out about CFD today, and you will both very easily see the connection between what Parson is apparently going through here and the symptoms of CFD. Just, to put that out there for later on in today's session. Grim follows up, yes, you couldn't recognize us. Didn't want to step in here as you were entirely unfamiliar with this place, us and everything. As if you woke up with no memory of the world, like temporary amnesia.
Parson just raises his hands on his face and just seems how would you say mentally tired? Like he's trying to understand all this. Like what's
Fatigued. Yeah, mentally fatigued.
fatigue. Yeah, like not saying anything at once, just trying to piece it in his own mind.
Right. By the way, at this point, Davy will shoot a very dirty look across the room. Mike, at first you think it's to you, but then you realize Lawrence is still behind you. And Davy taps his comm link in such a way that he's, sending body language to Lawrence. And Lawrence will, twist his head to look into AR and say, "Oh shit, right. I'm going to go get Dockwagon." And we'll run down the hall to the door.
With
And
no clothes.
sorry, what was that?
With no clothes on.
Yeah, well, he grabbed pants, and he probably put those on in the hallway. So he's got his shades, his pants, and some boxers under those pants.
Prodigy will get a message from Sybil. Want to come help me scan in Dockwagon?
And Whiskey asks Lawrence as he comes up.
Al Diablo, let Prodigy reply to Sybil first. What was that,
Sorry.
sister?
That's cool. Do you need me to help you scan them in? I mean,
I would like your help. The quicker we get it done, the better. After all, 2 heads are better than 1.
Unless one of them is Lawrence. That was out of character.
Prodigy's rolling composure. That is not like Sybil at all. If there's an issue with him, and then there's an issue with her, that's fucking weird.
And Mike is in the middle of it.
There's nothing that he can quite tell, I guess. But he's going to give a slightly confused look to Grim, and then start walking out.
So you rolled a
You-
judge when you said composure?
Yeah. What?
You rolled judge intentions, but you said composure.
They're the same dice roll.
Oh, well, not really in terms of what effect they have, even if your dice pool's the same.
That's true.
But yeah, so Whiskey, Lawrence runs up behind you and basically, excuse me, and he's just kind of doing the shuffle left and right, trying to get past you to the door.
Alright. Is there any liquor in this place, perhaps?
Yeah, in my room and in the store. Why?
Alright. And she goes to Lawrence's room.
So
But
she's
she's
just gonna raid his room.
Yes.
He's gonna do as he was told, and he'll get on the elevator. Sybil, Prodigy, if you want to make it to the elevator before him, you're gonna have to roll running.
Before
Go
Lauren.
away. Go away.
It's before Lawrence closes the elevator and heads down without you.
I have a 0.
Right. So if you
Same.
want to make that roll, you'd have to do a long shot by spending an edge.
I'm good.
Technically, I have a -1.
And Prodigy, you're not going to try either?
Prodigy would know that it's likely not going to work.
All right, so both of you are still in the apartment as the elevator door closes and Haversmith descends to the ground floor.
We have found quite possibly the 2 most unathletic bolt on the planet, and you asked them if they wanted to make a run check.
Well, they could have the obesity negative quality.
Well, right now, for Sybil, she has 0 ranks in running, so she's defaulting, which is a -1. Her strength is 1, so that makes it 0, and then she has a -1 from wounds.
How did she get wounds?
She's threaded, which is a technomancer ability, kind of like casting a spell.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I don't remember her getting in a fight.
Yeah, it took 4 damage from a rating 5 thread.
Whiskey, you're not going to find any alcohol in his bedroom, but if you go to look in his kitchenette, you'll find plenty of alcohol.
Well, actually, indeed, while she goes raiding for alcohol, she indeed also is just going to search his quarters for anything suspicious.
Okay, so you'll roll perception active. Parsons riding down the elevator. Sybil, Prodigy, what do you two do now that you realize you're not getting on that elevator?
We're gonna wait right outside the elevator doors.
Yep.
Okay.
We're too high to do the stairs.
Too high, eh?
And we're going to close the doors behind us so that the only person who can open them.
And those doors close on their own automatically, just so that you're aware that
Okay.
as long as someone isn't actively holding those doors open, they will shut.
Okay, so the only way to get in is for Parsons to let them in, and before
Or someone who has the access, yes.
and before we let them do that, before we let Lawrence let them in, we're going to vet them.
Oh, yeah. We can just do that here instead of in the elevator because we're all going to make it there in time.
And since they have to come past us now to get in, 1 second. Sends a message to Whiskey. Hey, Whiskey.
Aye.
As soon as you get your breakfast and drink, come watch the doors. Make sure they don't come past us.
Alright, that's. I also thought to kind of give a quick look around this Lawrence's room, just to make sure. And right now I got an excuse anyway.
Okay. So Grim sent a text to Prodigy. Prodigy, do you reply to Grim?
Judge, in regards to what?
You gave her a look when you left the room.
Oh, Project was like, Sybil seems less Sybil than normal.
So you're telling the cop be suspicious of the woman that she's already racist against. Sounds good.
Sybil knows she sent out a message.
Why would she?
Can technomancers tell when someone's sitting?
If they're actively looking, you'd have to roll an analyze or a scan. You don't just instantly know. Grim hasn't paid attention to Sybil yet. Only thing that Grim noticed with Sybil is that she was a couch potato at one point. And you were asking something, Hunter?
I just thought that technomancers see the stream of data coming out.
Yeah, but there's a constant stream of data coming from Prodigy. You'd have to, you've seen The Matrix. When Neo sees The Matrix for the first time, it's overwhelming amounts of data. It's not like you instantly recognize everything. You aren't the one. You're just witnessing it in its pure form. How am I describing this? All right. Using Neo as an example is a little bit inappropriate. I apologize. But the way other people in the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, perceive the Matrix, they perceive it as virtual reality. When Neo becomes the one, he has a different perception of the Matrix. That's what being a technomancer's like. You don't gain all the abilities that Neo had in that movie, but you do perceive the data differently. So whereas a hacker would need to scan for signals using software, a technomancer could scan for signals with their own intuitive natural senses of the Matrix.
So then she doesn't know that Prodigy is suspicious of her.
She doesn't know she knows that he doesn't necessarily like her, but she would have no proof of him She knows he sent messages. He's sending messages constantly. His devices are in constant communication with each other. He's constantly updating the other Shadowrunners. So the fact that he sent a message to Grimm
Doesn't
means-
strike her as
doesn't strike Sybil as strange. If she wanted, she could try and eavesdrop on everything he sends. But that's a lot of data because Prodigy, as a hacker, has a lot of feeds, a lot of subscriptions. He's got a lot of nodes that he connects to. He's slaved several nodes to himself as well. So it would be like trying to pay attention to an air traffic control station.
man. Pain in the ass. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's doable. You can definitely try to be suspicious of Prodigy, but him sending a message to Grimm won't ring any alarm bells because that's business as usual.
So basically, Sybil's gonna make small talk with Prodigy while they wait.
Okay, Whiskey is searching the room. So Pirate, Mike, and Grimm, you doing anything in particular, or are any of you getting out of the room like Mike suggested? What's going on up there?
Since I'm not getting permission to view that thing, just go in and start looking around myself. I'm gonna leave with the papers and go find a place to astrally project.
And Grimm's going to wait for now unless asked by Parson or Wolf. Mike, yourself?
I'm going to sit down right here in front of the desk, and I'm going to try and very politely talk to Parson and explain that, you know, while I know this is stressful and unpleasant for you, we don't know what's going on there, and unless we can start doing some more investigating, we're not going to find out. I mean, it's pretty clear that nobody simply walked in and planted those notes. So, you know, help us out here. Help us figure out what's going on so that we can keep somebody from repeatedly invading your privacy and leaving you threatening notes.
Out of character, that sounds like a pretty convincing argument. Frosty, does Parson want to hear any of it?
Well, I think since he's kind of mentally fatigued at this point, and he's not outright raging anymore. He's more of a listening mood right now, so probably
Okay, so
sigh deeply and agree with and Mike. Logic.
Technically Parson's still an NPC, so Mike, roll your negotiation, and Parson, let me take a look at your sheet here. You are under stress, so 11 SR4 for you to resist Mike's offer. And Mike, for everybody, at this point, everybody has their full empathy software bonus on Lawrence, Wolf, and Parson. No, 4 hits on 11, not bad. But 10 hits definitely beats you. So yeah, Parson, you'll have...
Yield.
Yeah, you'll yield. And Wolf will say, yes, I believe it won't be any issue at all for the magic woman to do her astral search, I believe they're called, of Mr. Parson, of Alderman Parson's room. We understand she's not going to invade his personal magical self, and you can tell that Wolf's not really an expert on magic, so he seems a little bit uneasy when he says that, as if he's hoping he's phrased it correctly.
I think I can speak for my entire team and say at this point, we have no interest in invading anyone's privacy, just trying to figure out how these notes keep getting into the penthouse.
Just get her here and take a look.
Well, see, the way he phrased that assumes that these are compatible goals.
Grim says, I will be honest. I am a cop, and I can tell you as well, I'll make sure these people cause you no trouble, so that once we make sure your life is safe, you will never have to deal with us again.
Of course, we would interested break that privacy.
Yes, the liquor cabinet. Okay.
I'll ask Parson if he'd mind if Grim and I take another look around physically while Pyrette does her astral sweep.
And Grim will say, as in, we don't want to invade your privacy, we just want you to be alive and well, as is our job.
Still, Parson seems very tired, guilty. It's just take a look.
Thank you. So I'll motion to Grim, and we'll take a look. We'll try and do an actual search here, if insofar as Wolf will let us.
Well, Wolf will step into the room and motion for each of you to enter. Grim says, can I also get you anything? Water, anything you need right now as well? You'll get a dirty look from Wolf, Grim. But Parson, how do you respond to Grim's latest set of questions?
Ooh, Grim's moving into his man. Or onto his man.
I'm just waiting for those.
Doc Wagon, they're on their way up the elevator right now, sir.
No, I'm just waiting for the. I was just, trying to figure out if Parson actually knew that the dog wagon was coming. So, but yeah, I'm just waiting for those wagon people to come up. I need a shower.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing. Parson is actually in his silken pajamas right now. I forgot to mention that. That might have changed some of your reactions earlier, but he has a button-up shirt and trousers of matching silk pajamas. As Grim walks past Wolf, she'll quietly say to him, hey, the guy was just in a daze. I don't want him passing out. And you'll notice that, Wolf relaxes and he nods. And he's like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'm stressed too, okay? That's all.
Mm-hmm. So out of curiosity, like a full silk pajamas with that little hat with the little ball at the end?
No, just rich man, not old style rich man.
Okay, so more like Hugh Hefner then.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner style. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Once again, Wolf Davy will stand in the doorway, but he actually has his back turned to you two this time, and he's focusing his attention on Parson, and basically he's giving some cheerful platitudes to his boss, saying, this will soon be over. I'm sure we're going to win this election. You're going to live a long and happy life, and there's everything is going to turn out all right, sir. We have great people on this. Nothing's going to screw up. He's a lot more articulate than I am, but basically he's doing a pretty good job at choking down his own fear and being a good yes man to his boss.
All right, so we take a look around. We'll want to, it's both this room and the bathroom for any sort of openings, air vents or anything.
Yep, there naturally be air vents. You did not get to glue these ones shut earlier, though, because you did not have access to his bedroom.
Okay.
So do you have your glue gun with you right now?
Probably not, but I could get it easily enough. I could just, excuse myself, grab it. I'm sure it's still in the apartment.
Okay. So do you want to do that? Like ask Wolf, excuse me, I have to go get a tool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll go off and do that, but just before you leave, Grim will say, okay, Mike, first priority, we need to determine if the note could get in here or may still be here. It couldn't have got past us by. Kara's kind of dyslexic tonight, isn't she?
The comma should be in front of us. Could not have.
Well, no,
gotten
us and by should be reversed.
Okay.
Could not have got past by us, or
No, past
oh,
us by traditional means.
Oh yes, okay. So anyway, try by traditional means. So think about ways you might get a letter in here. Grim, with 9 hits, is doing a detailed scan of the apartment, including around and under the drawers of bed. I imagine when you say scan, you're not just meaning your eyes, you're also using your cybernetic limb, Grim? Okay. So yeah, searching the bedroom with 9 hits, you're not coming up with anything. There are vents, and these vents could still have been opened, but they appear to be properly closed and their seals aren't cracked as far as you can tell. I mean, you could try peeling one open and seeing if the vent seal was cracked, but you're not an expert on that, so you'd be having to roll to guess. So while Grim is doing that, Mike leaves, he gets his equipment and he comes back in. Meanwhile, while that's taking place, the elevator will, oh shit, sorry, I hit my microphone. Oof, just trying to get comfortable. The elevator will be coming back up with, what's his nuts? Shit.
Lawrence.
Lawrence, yes, Lawrence. And he will have the Dockwagon people with him. And come on into the vestibule. Am I not going to get any comments from any of you, really? I know I did this before, but are none of you going to say anything about this?
I just said something that we've been waiting on Whiskey to come back to the door.
No! Do you not see what's on
Yeah,
the
we
map?
see the tokens.
Yeah, I know, but
Either Amoras.
I was expecting them to be a joke.
They look a little scorched.
by
No,
the way,
like
called
last
it.
time, it's not really them.
Okay.
Just like last time. I'm just being a dick.
I figured that was the case because as dumb as Lawrence is, they've got.
He
guns.
knows the Remoras.
No,
He
not
knows of
necessarily.
He's the one who recognized the name
Yeah.
Did he? Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't remember that.
because he
Sorry.
has the gang backgrounds.
Okay.
Still gonna
okay.
say he's stupid enough.
No, he was the one who said you need to watch out for that.
Well, who
Maybe
knows? Maybe the
before-
Remorse sister took, maybe they come out of the elevator with a gun pressed to his head. I mean, I imagine then he would bring them up.
No, I think all they'd have to do is drop their trousers and say, "Where's your bedroom?"
Again, this is why I say Lawrence is stupid enough to allow this.
Well, anyway, it didn't, thankfully.
But yeah, so he brings up 4 of the Dockwagon employees. Whiskey, you would be receiving a message from Prodigy and or Sybil saying, whatever you're looking for, it can wait. Come and help us. Whiskey, I don't remember seeing what you rolled for your thieving bastard.
I had 3 hits on visual perception.
Okay. You will find a bottle. Why don't you roll Edge to determine if it's a good bottle of whiskey, a shitty bottle of whiskey, not whiskey at all, or like synthahol. That is not an actual glitch, and you're getting cheap booze that is not whiskey.
All right, she'll handle it. Basically chucks down the bottle as she comes out of Lawrence's room.
Chugging? You just glug, glug, glug.
Yeah, pretty much just
At
put
this
the
point-
bottle to her mouth and go gluk, 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 gluk.
At this point, I think my sister is just an alcohol-powered golem.
Okay. Pirate, your active sensing in the bedroom will find nothing magical, just the residual splat of when Parsons' aura inverted. Basically, an immense emotional confluence occurred at his bed, and I don't think you were in the you were in the room when Parson reverted, but you didn't astrally perceive him, did you?
I was actually perceiving him until I had to look at the notes.
Yeah. So Lawrence showed up after that, so you didn't witness his aura reverting. So on your
But I know he-
but when you astrally project, you will go past him and go ahead and roll another sensing at -2 without it being active to see if you notice his aura as you're heading to the other room.
So that makes it 7 then. Okay. 7.
Yeah, Whiskey, you put a lot of points into alcohol. You know alcohol. So
I'm-
Pirate will. Oh,
I'm
what?
going to edge that.
Okay, so you get to re-roll the whole shebang.
That's bad.
Okay, so yes, you will notice that Parsons' aura has returned to its original state. Bearing in mind that his inversion was not of a magical nature, it was of an emotional
Okay,
nature. It was an emotional inversion.
So Pirate's request at the very beginning of this goes like, okay, it's definitely not super subtle magic. It is definitely we need to go into his history. We need his medical records.
Or you do some meta magic to get right into his soul.
I don't have that meta magic.
You don't, but you have 2 contacts who do.
Professor Palmer, not Brennan.
Oh, Pirate wasn't in on that mission. It was Heinrich. Sorry. So
Yeah.
Pirate has one, Heinrich has another.
Yeah.
For that matter, is there anyone here? Mike. Mike has Hamlin as a contact.
Yes. But yeah, I think that's it.
Everyone else was a different character for that mission. Okay. But yeah, so in his bedroom, no magic. Grim, in his bedroom, nothing out of the ordinary. Your mad scanner is not detecting anything out of the ordinary. There is a sidearm that is a small holdout pistol, but it's not even loaded.
So it's just there for show.
Well, there is ammo for it. It's just the ammo wasn't put into it. It's in a box, basically tucked under his bed. So probably, self-defense item if there's ever a home invasion kind of thing. But, opening it up, you can tell this thing hasn't seen much activity. Mike, you left and you'd come back, so you're going to have to make your roll. Although, where would it? I guess you'd store stuff in the guest room, Mike.
Yeah, probably.
So basically, as you're coming out of that room grabbing your glue gun, is when Whiskey would be heading to the door as Lawrence is coming out of the elevator with the medical Dockwagon people. What's your decision?
There are 3 people plus a Lawrence over there, so I'm hoping they can handle it.
Okay. So you'll just proceed, and
You know, I'll probably glance over there, but I don't see machine guns or anything out, so I'll assume the 3 of them can handle it.
nothing out of the ordinary to you, Pirate, in the bathroom. Prodigy, Sybil, Whiskey. 4 medics come out of the elevator with Lawrence. What are you doing exactly?
Whiskey basically stands in the doorway and basically functions as a wall until she gets a signal from Prodigy and Lawrence to let people pass.
Fuck Sybil, though, right? Okay.
Prodigy and Sybil.
I said Prodigy and Sybil.
You said
You
Lawrence.
said Lawrence.
Oh, sorry. I meant Prodigy and Sybil. Fuck Lawrence. That's the right order.
Okay, cool.
Also, she's not finishing the entire bottle, just so you know.
Having a sip.
Yeah, she takes a few swigs, basically to
troll-sized sip.
mouth water.
Yes, but it's a troll-sized sip.
Yep.
So first, Sybil's going to look them over for cyberware. Do I actually have to roll for that?
Yes, you do have to roll. Prodigy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll 24 SOs for a scan. The same thing as well as headgear. Oof.
Prodigy, what your scan detects, and Sybil. Oh, God damn, Sybil. Sorry, are you saying something there, Hunter?
I'm tempted to edge that.
It's your call. I'm going to wait till you decide before I say what your current rolls reveal.
No, I'll save it.
Okay. As far as you can tell, they are on a secure slaved network with one another, and they are only broadcasting that they are Dockwagon medical professionals. They are unarmed due to special circumstances of their job, though normally Dockwagon are armed. Part of their job is to go into dangerous environments, but Wolf basically negotiated, we're in the good part of town. You don't need to send guns with your medics. Cyberware does exist, but you don't have the details on it because all of the Wi-Fi signals that are transmitting from inside of their bodies are slaved to their secure network comlink that they've basically got as a tactical network. So you're not getting a lot of information as far as details from them, but you do know that they are somewhat modified and they do have equipment that is networked amongst one another.
Are all 4 of them modified?
Yep, but to varying degrees. So one of them is pretty heavily cybered, 2 of them are average, 1 of them is below average.
Sybil's going to request that they explain what cyberware they have for safety precautions.
I think we can skip that step and ask Okami to check if any of them are a mage.
Okami? Well, I guess if you want to bring Okami in on this, but...
If they're,
You know what I
if they're
mean.
cybered, they're not going to be as great of a mage.
Yes, but that doesn't stop
Sure.
people from getting
Sure.
cyberware. But,
It also doesn't stop them from spoofing a signal.
yep, that's true too. However, the signals are literally coming from inside their bodies, so...
Okay. Are we able to pinpoint exactly where inside of the body Like, are you saying that?
Torso, head, limbs.
Okay.
Hence why Sybil is asking. Explain the cyberware that we're detecting for safety precautions.
Sybil, go ahead and roll a leadership.
Oh joy. And not too bad.
Well, damn. Okay, that was. They'll say we have. You know what? No, they're professionals. They'll basically have a AR data ticket that will reveal all of their augmentation, all of their licenses for those augmentations that require licenses, and one of them will basically state, we're here to attend to a medical emergency. Please move out of the way.
And she sees nothing that raises any real alarms.
Well, theoretically speaking, some of these cyberware implants could be utilized in lethal ways, such as medical equipment being improperly used to, you pump air into someone's vein through a needle. That's pretty much an instant kill. So
No, it's not.
But
No, it isn't?
That's not true.
It isn't?
It is not. Yeah, it won't kill you.
I thought that if
I'm deathly afraid of needles. I could tell you. I've checked into this.
okay, but I thought if you
cause
put
a
it,
cut, but it
Yeah.
won't. It'll won't cause the full stoppage, and there's still enough liquid. The air won't kill you.
Well, it
it'll
depends on
stop
how
the blood
much
clot
air, I
before it
imagine,
reaches the
really.
heart. Unless you stab it like right into the heart, in which case you might have some issues. But unless you put a massive amount of air in there, it's going to turn back into a liquid. Or
okay,
it's going to
well,
scatter.
even still, I imagine having needles and medications, you could potentially still kill someone with those.
well, when I'm asked something that should not be on.
No, there's absolutely nothing that seems completely unacceptable or out of the ordinary.
They're not equipped with needle bombs or anything like that.
They're not equipped with, subdermal machine guns or hydraulic jacks or anything like that in their fists.
He's gonna turn and nod to Whiskey. Right this way?
She nods back then and steps aside.
And Haver Smith will, what is this? There we go. We'll open up both doors and let the people in. Prodigy, are you staying in the vestibule or are you coming back into the penthouse?
I guess you should probably come back, yeah. There isn't any need to make sure that nobody else is coming in.
When Pirate returns to her body, she's going to send a message to everyone. Why don't you go ahead and say that, Abobob? Abobob?
Look, I was mute. Sorry. Okay, there was no magic in his bedroom or bathroom that I can find. So the only thing I can say is this is either trauma related, either mentally or physically, or something is affecting his soul in a way I don't understand.
And Grim will reply as a text, so far we're not even turning up dust here. Something is suspicious, and I think it might be Parson himself. Not intentionally, of course.
Yeah, and then Pirate replied again in the text chat. I agree this is based on Parson either in his head or in his soul. I I say we still gotta get access to his medical record to see if he has a history of some kind of trauma we can find. If not, I can maybe call in for a favor to see if someone can get me in contact with an expert on souls and auras to maybe come and take a look, or at least describe what I've seen and get their professional opinion. But that's the best I can do. But
Damn.
the only weird thing I saw is that Parsons' aura has been fluctuating since he was in his confused state to when he turned from his confused state. I don't know what's triggering it though.
Whiskey, you can go ahead and say what you want to say.
Well, yeah, she texts like, oh, maybe maybe a drink or two can get him talking. And she quickly follows up, yeah, I know, predictable from me, but seriously, get someone a bit drunk and they'll spill a lot of secrets that they normally wouldn't.
And Grim will say, or well, text, well, you better get friendly with Dockwagon, but no offense, I don't think even Mike could put the moves on this stuffy lot. Probably best to call your expert. Okay, so Dockwagon's going to come in. Wolf Davy is going to, direct them to Parson. Parson, do you cooperate, or are you going to be a fussy patient?
I will cooperate.
Okay, you're going to cooperate.
Sorry, I had my mouth.
Okay.
Couldn't speak.
Prodigy, well, everybody can roll a common sense here, but Prodigy and Sybil, your threshold is lower than everyone else's. Well, everyone of the Shadowrunners. I don't think Parson gets to roll common sense here.
Good luck.
No, that was a composure. I asked for a common sense.
Sorry. There. Oh,
So
wait,
roll,
that's
roll
right.
roll the missing dice only.
Do I need to put the wound penalty on this as well, by the way?
Yes, you do. This one you have to manually take into account wound penalties.
Yeah, okay, so I need to apply the wound penalty on both stats or on the whole roll?
No. The penalty only applies once to the whole roll.
Okay.
Wow, Weston Mike decided to pre-edge this one, apparently.
Well, otherwise I've only got 8 dice, and that's not that great.
That is not an actual glitch for Whiskey. We still have Grim and Pirate to roll. Kara, a Bobob?
So can you repeat that? I was looking on my character sheet for some stuff.
I was asking you to roll common sense.
Okay.
Nice work, Grim.
I think I'm gonna edge mine.
Oh, just hold on. Mike already pre-edged his. Well done, Pirate. Okay, so Sybil, you're gonna probably feel a little embarrassed that you don't think of this, but Prodigy, West End Mike, and Grim, and Pirate, so pretty much everyone except Whiskey and Sybil, it'll all dawn on you. Dogwagon's here with Parsons' medical reports on their comm links as they're investigating, treating him and diagnosing him. This is an excellent opportunity to invade his personal space, basically, and hack into their network and retrieve the data. the only risk here, not only risk, but the major risk factor is this is Doc Waken. They are professionals. They put a lot of money and new yen into making sure that they have good enough comlinks, good enough equipment, and good enough training. So all of you will get the idea of this is an excellent opportunity to maybe learn something, but it's an invasion of privacy, it's illegal, and it could have some very negative repercussions if you ended up getting caught.
For the greater good in this guy's life, we need access to that stuff. Well, it's a matter of Pirates middle ground on this because she wants that information to help break down exactly what's going down with Parson even more. Problem is, she knows how strong Dark Wagon's cybersecurity is, and she doesn't want to risk people dealing with anything they might deal with if they go after it.
I don't think she does know. She might suspect, but she's correct.
She would
She wouldn't know.
She wouldn't know, no, I would say, but just given that Darkwhack is one of the top medical people.
Well, they're a double A corporation. That's
I thought they were
international.
triple.
No, Doc Wagon's double A. There's only 10 triple A corporations.
Okay.
Technology or security company give me a good idea of how strong that their stuff is.
Security company could give you some special insight, yes.
Okay.
Well,
Probably not.
Prodigy, this is seeming like a really good idea to you and an excellent opportunity. Mike, you were going to say something?
yeah, I'll send it as a bit text. Look, if you guys want his medical records, probably the best way to get them is off of those guys' comlinks right now, because the only other alternative is to go crack the actual servers themselves, which will, as well secured as those comlinks are going to be, they're still probably the weakest link.
Are you sending this through text message to everyone?
Yeah.
Well, if you'll give me a minute, I could maybe distract them a little bit.
I don't know if that'll help, but it's ultimately it's up to Prodigy and Sybil whether they think they can quite literally whether they can hack it. But if you're going to hack anything, this is the thing to hack.
Grim, I think, may have sent a message that she's officially not condoning this. Or did you even include her? Mike? Desperado?
I think basically what Grim said was that she's being very, very quiet on purpose.
Yes, but would Mike have sent a message to her when he sent this message out?
Yeah, this is on the team channel.
Okay.
It's they were they were sending messages about getting Parsons' medical records and his look. If you want his medical records, this is probably your best time to get them, because otherwise you're going to have to go to Doc Wagon, and try and crack their servers. As these comlinks are probably.
Yeah, no, I get all that. I'm just wanting to make sure that, did you drag Grim into this and Grim is just not replying, or did you have the foresight not even to mention this to a cop?
No, she's on the team channel. She hears Mike's thought.
All right, so she's going to tell you that's your landmine. I do not condone this. I know nothing. I hear nothing. La la la. Leave me the fuck out of this.
That's fair, and I'm not ordering anybody to do it, as if I could. I am saying that if you guys want to lay your hands on an unedited copy of Parsons' medical records, hacking the comlinks of these Doc Wagon people is probably your best bet.
Yeah. So,
If you think you can pull it off, go for it.
Prodigy, you're feeling pretty good about this. Sybil, do you want to make any other rolls, or have you made up your mind on your own? Oh,
Prodigy.
She's still AFK, is it? Okay, Hunter's not here right now. We've been going for about 2 hours. So, Twister, say what you were going to say, and then we'll take break.
Prodigy could probably do it. He could probably succeed spending most of his edge doing this. But what other? He wouldn't keep any of his files in the building. So, if we're going to do it, we can't half-ass it and lose lose out on information we should be obtaining by only checking his medical records and not looking into Lawrence and Wolf. And also probably should get if we can find it easy enough, psychological evaluations of all three of them as well. Would there be that information in these comlinks, or would I just be able to find the medical history, the physical medical history of Alderman Parson?
The medical comlinks would have the medical information on Parson.
So,
I mean, you know, for all we know, Parson's never seen a psychiatrist, so he wouldn't have a psych profile. But anyway,
So we'll wait to hear. Oh, Hunter's back now. All right. So Hunter, how much did you hear before you went away?
Last I heard was Twister asking if rolling security companies or security design, and then I took the headset off.
Okay. So Prodigy feels like this is well, Twister, why don't you just go ahead and say what Prodigy feels?
it's doable, but I don't think we're going to get enough for what we're looking for.
But any information is better than no information, isn't it?
Yes.
So Prodigy's under the impression that this is doable. Does Prodigy also think it's worth doing? Is Parsons' medical history information you want?
I don't know, because if he gets caught,
Prodigy's, probably going to get
royally screwed, and well, he'd be able to make it so no one else is involved, but this is a risk for sure. Could I have the period of us taking a break to think about it?
Absolutely. Sybil, Hunter, has she already made up her mind, or do you also want this break period to help Sybil decide?
So, Prodigy said that in text?
No. Twister hasn't decided yet as a player, so Prodigy
Sybil has
hasn't said
no-
anything.
Sybil has no clue because she didn't roll high enough on her common sense.
Mike did. Mike sent a text to everyone saying, this is our opportunity to get his medical records. If Prodigy and Sybil think as a team that they can pull this off, Mike suggests, let's do this. That's correct, Desperado?
yeah, because as I pointed out, as heavy as the security on their comlinks are going to be, where else on Doc Wagon's network is it going to be any thinner? It's
And we're-
basically, if you think you can pull it off and you want it, this is your shot.
And what Prodigy also doesn't know is that it's not going to be just the two of them. Sybil thinks it's feasible.
Okay, so we'll give Twister the break time to make up his mind. We're going to stop the recording here and we'll reconvene. Does anyone want to try and convince Prodigy that this needs to happen?
No, by the way, I started recording again. Maybe,
Stop recording on your end for VT. Pilot would again say just, I don't know if this is a good idea now, but we need access to his medical records, and this is our best shot at getting them. 'Cause they're not good. Wolf and Parson are not like to hand it over.
Yeah, I was just waiting for VT before I tried to goad Prodigy into doing so.
Yeah, but yeah, you'll need to roll. Prodigy will not do this on his own.
It'll be a negotiation, I think, because I'll tell Prodigy that I'll help.
Whiskey could wait outside and steal their
And I've got
comlinks
two
off
people
them
who help.
when they come out. With force.
Yeah, basically.
That would be an especially bad idea, Whiskey.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine
Imagine that
so.
taking their comlinks away doesn't get the encryption, unfortunately.
I can beat
Yeah.
them up until they break the encryption.
Yeah.
You assuming that you can crack them before reinforcements arrive. This is a double
Yeah.
A company. We will lose.
User in your channel started recording.
So yeah, Prodigy is deeply concerned about the safety of doing this, even though he rolled he rolled poorly enough to not know of all of the potential ways that this could screw him. What little he knows about Dockwagon tells him, I don't want to shit in my own backyard.
But sometimes you have to.
So, is anyone going to convince Prodigy? And if so, what method are you going to attempt?
Sybil will try to negotiate with Prodigy, basically telling him that she'll help and she'll also have 2 agents helping as well.
That's not a negotiation. The negotiation is used when there is some kind of exchange happening. Saying, I'll help you isn't an exchange, it's supportive. So, you could roll an etiquette or a leadership if you're being assertive. Negotiation is used when you say, I will give you this in exchange for that.
Okay, so
I will give you assistance and help find information. Is also like it doesn't have to be a physical thing. A favor, except
Well, yeah, this and that don't have to be tangible items. They are just an exchange. But still, saying, I will give you help in doing the thing you're going to do anyway, isn't really a negotiation. It's an offer to help. If you were to say instead, if you help me do this, later on, I will help you do something you want to do. That's a negotiation.
and it's probably something you wouldn't already do, or Prodigy wouldn't think you'd already do, because now it's you threatening him to not help if he doesn't, and now you're rolling a different way.
she's going. In that case, I'll do an etiquette.
All right, so she's trying to appeal to him in apologizing for all those times that previously she had treated him poorly.
Oh, she's already doing that. She's being nice to him.
Yes, but I'm saying this will be like the coup de grace, as it were. The I am so sorry for everything I've done. Please help me do this.
Pretty much, yeah. Checking the spelling.
Okay. Prodigy, you get to set your own threshold here. What do you want the threshold to be?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by get to set my own threshold? As in, I get to set. Shouldn't actually be on this page for this.
Sorry, what?
I don't have Prodigy's icon in the Matrix page. What do you mean by threshold to be?
All right, so if your threshold is 2 or more, there's absolutely no way Sybil's current roll will persuade you. If your threshold is 1 or 0, then you'd have to roll to see if she beats you.
I see. I'm going to point out, Sybil would have a negative score in relation to this. Andy's already suspicious about her today. So I'm going to say that it's higher than 2 for Sybil.
Then I'm edging.
Okay,
I mean, there is other people that can attempt it before you edge.
He is actually trying to be nice to you.
yeah, but there's a lot, like, you've treated him like shit in the past. One day of sudden good treatment doesn't make up for all of that in Prodigy's eyes. But does anyone else want to try and convince Prodigy here? Pirate, you seemed pretty interested in this.
Etiquette?
If you're being polite about it, yes. If you're threatening him, intimidation. If you're commanding him, leadership. If you're lying to him, con. If you're offering something in exchange, negotiation. Are those fireworks, Twister?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, Victoria Day. What's that? I was about to ask what's going on with the fireworks.
Yeah, well, happy Victoria Day to you all then.
To us all, yes. Twister and I are everyone. And honestly, I don't know about Twister, but I'm not really all that interested in the royal family. But,
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it pisses off the Americans, God save the Queen.
Well, I mean, it's not American-centric, so it's already halfway there.
The only thing that pisses me off about this is that no one's shutting up about it. That's apparently some kind of worldwide big deal.
Excuse me, what do you call America Day? Like July the 4th? Do you
That's
know
because
how
we kicked the
loud y'all
British
get?
out.
Okay, let's not get mired in the political thing right now. So, except to say, the only thing in the world bigger than the American anything is Eurovision. So just let that settle in. The rest of the world, the entire rest of the world, has to deal with U.S. culture all day, every year, and the only time they get a break from it is Eurovision. Anyway,
And Eurovision sucks.
Accept that, I agree with that. Yeah. Pirate would be first try to be polite about this and just say, Raj, we need this information. I know this is a big deal. I'm against this as well, but we have no other means of getting this information and we need it. Think you can honestly get this for us? Are you willing to try?
This is my backyard. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, yeah, that's sense. Prodigy more or less say, this is my backyard. This is where I live. This isn't Russia. It's not the same. Well, because they can, like take my house and actually put me in jail, and I can't convince the judge to not.
Prodigy,
You'd go to juvie anyway.
Because we are all technically criminals.
But they have nothing on us. That's the thing at the moment. They'll have this on me.
Can't you just spoof yourself to make it seem like someone else or through another device?
If I could spoof well enough to convince them to not catch me, I wouldn't even need to be afraid of them catching me in the first place.
So you can't make yourself look like you're coming from a different IP address.
Out of character, yes, he can. Also out of character, that doesn't mean they wouldn't track him down anyway.
Yeah.
If they can catch me coming from that other IP address, if they couldn't catch the fact that I was bouncing my signal, I wouldn't even need to be afraid of them catching me in the first place.
Okay, Prodigy, you do.
You also haven't made a roll to actually try to convince him.
I was trying to see if I would get any bonus because we've actually had a positive relationship. Before I rolled, because I only have 3.
Well, he made pretty solid counter arguments against yours. So unless you have something else you want to try and convince him with, like, I don't know, are you aware that he's searching for his mother? Would you potentially bribe
I don't think
him by
Prodigy's
saying-
told anyone he's looking for his mom. In character.
If anyone remembers the last mission in Russia, he made a pretty big fuss about needing him because he might have information on his mom. Like, a very sobbing manner.
Are you talking about the,
I'm talking about the shadow.
Yeah, that was in front of everybody.
Very
That was-
nice.
Everybody was
Oh,
in
yeah.
that mission.
It was the silence, not the.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you.
It's like... The only other thing I can do then, because honestly, Pirate has no means to help you find your mom.
Excuse you. You do. You're a mage.
Yeah.
Don't see how that could help in this scenario.
Eventually develop the type of metamagic necessary to track down someone long distance in the astral.
Is that... But... Okay, that's using out of character knowledge, but whatever. That point.
But no, Pyrette is knowledgeable of the fact that there are magic abilities she does not yet possess that she could train herself to achieve these kinds of goals. She just has other priorities she's focusing on.
What I was referring to is that she probably, if she's aware of that, she's also aware of the fact that there are ways to make it so even this long distance tracking won't work.
Yeah,
If-
you could admit that there's no guarantee, but you could offer to try as a negotiation role.
Which is still a 3.
She could lie.
And as well, Prodigy-
6.
Prodigy is definitely having I don't know if a softer heart is the right phrase, but it's a more viable option than just straight up, you should do it for the team.
No, okay, I got this, but Prodigy, you know how much Civil's been just like
Yeah,
beating
I know.
on you nonstop.
Yeah, I recall. It's documented.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't this be the ultimate way of showing her up and say that you'll always be better than her in this? And finally get it to shut her mouth?
Well, I mean, I already
figuratively.
know that I can out-hack her.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But here's the point, though. It's like she did one up you when she got information that you couldn't get.
When did she say that?
That was earlier in this mission, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that you're talking about. I thought you were still talking about your character. I didn't realize.
No, in this one, I was referring to Sybil getting information you couldn't get and then rubbing it in your face.
Prodigy's still iffy if it came from that horse in the end, especially when she couldn't get back to it. Which to him basically brought it back to the lines of like, did she really get it from there?
Considering how much I dislike
And
I
considering it-
dislike Sybil right now in character as Pirate, how would you like to know one of Sybil's deepest, darkest secrets?
Ooh, roll with that, and you're good to go. I'll set the DC for that one. Oh shoot, I can't put 1.5.
You could set it at 1, then roll a 1d2 to determine if it's another +1 or not.
Sure. I'll just roll a 1d2.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Math.
It's a 2. So it's a 2.
How much of that would
Are you actually willing to sell Sybil out to Prodigy?
Yeah.
Sybil tried to sell
Especially-
us out? And
I didn't try to sell
Sybil's-
anybody out.
Yeah, let Pyrette say what she wants because this is what she believes.
You tried to sell us out on Grimm's first job when we got to London, willing to betray the group, and then you trying to kill me in your deep dark underground tunnel.
Again, this is Pyrette's perspective of things.
Yes,
So-
that's what I was going, but based on Pyrus.
Yes.
Thing.
So is she lying? Is she going back on her word to Sybil? Because
Sybil really hasn't done anything to earn the trust.
Yes, but Pyrette gave Sybil her word. As long as that job got tied up nice and neat, Pyrette was not going to reveal Sybil's secret.
Sorta did.
So the thing here, is Pyrette hesitating? And they're like, not hesitate. Does she feel in her heart she doesn't actually want to go through with this? She's basically dangling a carrot on Prodigy and she wants to betray Prodigy's trust? Or does she actually intend to follow through in this, tell Prodigy what the secret is, but in doing so, betray her agreement with Sybil? That's what Pyrette's decision is right here, right?
Oh.
Is the third option of retconning?
Well, she doesn't have to say this.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't
Well, I
have to
would say-
offer that deal.
I'll say she's willing to say because the way it's like, it would be an explanation how she's able to do all those things that you have trouble stopping her doing.
But you're saying Pyrette is legitimately right now prepared to sell Sybil up the road, up the river.
Yeah, Sybil was willing to ruin one mission, so I'm gonna have Sybil make sure she can help, unknowingly of her own will, help out this job.
Are you going to make any specific parameters for this information to Prodigy? Or are you just flat out saying, if you agree to do this, I will let you know a deep dark secret about Sybil and why she's able to do things you can't?
I would just say I would give you one word, which would explain this all, but your own studying and stuff there. This one word would be the breadcrumb that leads you to the path of what you wish, of what you will know.
So she's making up an excuse for herself so she doesn't feel as bad about selling out Sybil. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's still straight up selling her out, but it's going to be a really obvious word. But the bread, his own is going to learn what he wishes to know.
Ah, people are so nicely self-delusional.
Yes. But, okay. Would I get any bonuses for that? Or is I have to go with my 3?
This is a negotiation. Prodigy's already set his threshold at 2. Excuse me. You would have to either pre-edge or find some other way to bolster your charisma or your
I would just have to
negotiation.
pre-edge because that's my only option.
Do you have empathy software? Because I'm pretty sure.
No, she does not.
No.
She does, however, have magical spirits. She could try and utilize
None of-
a...
None of the spirits have any powers that would boost stats. That's Okami.
Oh, damn, it's Okami who has those? Okay.
Yeah, because it's involved with her backstory.
So, yeah, unless you're willing to try and bring Grim or, dare I say, Mike in on this,
Nope.
you've got your very limited dice.
Mike
pool
has,
here.
Mike has not outright said it, but it's clear that there's some kind of connection between the two. So this would just be 5 SR4E, and I just hope this works.
Grim also sent a text saying, I said I was going to stay out of this, but we could, call your magic contacts first, because what would also suck is doing this and, like, searching his bedroom, us finding nothing.
Well, this.
So, before you make
Yeah.
the roll, Pirate, does Grim persuade you not to try and persuade Prodigy?
No, because this is one of like the OCD things is that Anho's background is like, we need this so we can move
She's
variables.
obsessing. So
Yeah.
you're saying Pirate is obsessing.
Yeah. And especially with what she saw from there and there, she wants to make sure that this does not have a magical angle because she does not want to go into that rabbit hole of what she saw and perceived from both the note and the painting or picture.
That's right. She is also shaken because of that. Fair enough.
Yeah. So she doesn't want to go down that rabbit hole. So she's trying to make sure she finds other things that's what it is and not that rabbit hole.
All right. So go ahead and make your roll as
Before-
you determine. Oh, yep. Sorry.
Can I say just one thing? Player out this. You said Pirate is willing to do this because Sybil hasn't earned her trust. Problem with that, Pirate isn't giving her the chance.
Yeah, but
That just-
that's entirely in character. That's
Pirate's kind of a bitch.
Sybil.
Pirate's understanding of technomancers, because of exactly what Sybil told her, is Pirate is now afraid that technomancers really are the imps of evil AIs, because Sybil did such a poor job of explaining to Pirate what it actually means to be a technomancer. So in
And-
Pirate's mind, this is a good thing to do, honestly.
And the secondhand story she heard from jobs that Castle was a part of back at the Aerith Forge when he was a wild technomancer, and what those caused.
That I'd have to say she might not be aware of. Because,
The crane incident?
but that's just it. The crane incident never really became well known. It's, oh shit, the crane is falling over. Well, how did that happen? Oh man, no idea. Literally, no one had any idea how the crane came to life and fell over.
Pretty soon that was explained to Bettina in that limo, but I think she was the only one.
Yeah, Patina kind of got a few advantages here and there that, well, I don't know if did I ever reveal who she was actually working for?
Probably a dragon.
Not just any.
Gonna guess since you're constantly referring to Mother, one of the big female dragons?
Yes. You were,
Problem is,
about
I
to
think
say, you were about to say Lothweir, and I was going to have to say, no, Lothweir's arch nemesis.
Lothwell was involved, but I couldn't remember Lothwell's arch nemesis name. Just the Leviathan, who I believe is female.
No,
I
Leviathan, nobody gets along with the Leviathan.
But I was thinking of female dragons, and the only two I can think of is Leviathan, which I believe is female, and this other one who I can never not recall the name of.
Hey, Desperado.
And as
you
far
wanna
as
remind me
Swinger,
what the
but
name
she's
is?
dead.
Who?
Fire
The
Swinger.
one from, from Dragonfall, the video game.
Oh. Is that canon?
But yes, it is.
Okay.
Well,
But
I think the
multiple
events of
different
Dragonfall are not
endings for-
canon, but the backstory of
They are.
Dragonfall's can.
No, Dragonfall is canon, but there's multiple endings, and they haven't declared which of those multiple endings is the canon ending. Regardless, Desperado, are you here?
Yep, just been walking. I believe he's talking about Hestaby.
That would indeed be the name that I think Abobub was struggling to get.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's like I only can think of two. One is Hestaby and Leviathan.
In any event, we are way off topic again.
Yeah.
So, Pirate, you are going ahead and you are
Damn.
rolling, and it's not a real glitch. You used an edge. Prodigy, you set the threshold. She did not defeat it. So, how are you playing? Is it that you don't believe Pirate, or that you don't honestly really want to know, or how are you playing this? How are you swinging it?
But she said she would give you a breadcrumb that will lead you down the path.
Well, the easiest is that it's probably not a big enough breadcrumb to actually have a path, or B, there's not actually a path. You're trying to trick him.
You really think I'm trying to trick you over something involving Sybil? You know I don't like her. There's only two tech experts in our group, Sybil and you, and I don't like Sybil. You really think I will close the doors with you?
Probably not.
Even still, Prodigy, are you going to continue to give this the time of day, or are you saying, no, I've made my decision, I'm not doing this?
Well, Grim isn't going to say anything.
No, Grim's saying the opposite. She's saying the magic person should be trying to deal with this. We shouldn't be potentially risking our necks by sending the hackers after Dockwagon.
I'm guessing we wouldn't have time to go down this attempted route afterwards, unless another issue happens, which would potentially just be straight up too late.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call Dockwagon in again for another medical emergency, you could have them within range.
You do have one stabbed woman, so you have an
It
excuse
has to
there.
be someone who has a contract with Dockwagon.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you tell, like, Wolf, oh my god, person's been stabbed, call Dockwagon.
As one of us is just holding the bloody knife.
Mike, we know you wanted that I'll roll one less composure then. I'm gonna put the
If you wanted to have Pirate give you everything in full, she knows, we would do that to accept it.
he'd do it.
What?
Holy shit, that is a critical claim.
Yeah, which means actually, Prodigy, you've changed your mind. You don't want to know Sybil's secret, but you're doing it anyway.
That's fun.
Basically, Pirate has convinced you that this is so important, she's willing to sell out Sybil. You don't think selling out Sybil's a good idea, but because Pirate is so determined that this is the right course of action, she's persuaded you.
I'm gonna sell her out anyway.
Ever regret making a personal role that we weren't asked to make?
Talk to Kara about that. Kara does that all the time.
Oh God, how many times do you guys remember her psyker?
Yeah. So
And the
many demons
demonettes?
summoned over so many goddamn doors.
Okay, but we are way off again, and I just want to kind of see if we can get this done in like a half hour. Good luck. Prodigy, which software are you loading up onto your comlink? Sybil, which complex forms are you going to thread in advance?
May I maybe make a quick alcohol roll to see how good cocktails whiskey makes for everyone?
Sure. Meanwhile, Frosty just posted what Bo looks like, my old Dryad character.
Yeah, had to be posting. I can post it.
Well, Whiskey, you are a professional bartenderess.
Glenn's in the family.
Well, yeah. I imagine they have quite Pirate and Whiskey have quite a high standard on drinking. So yes, I imagine she makes some nice cocktails and she offers one to everyone, including the dog wagon personnel and Parsons and Wolf and everyone.
Well, the dock wagon employees are going to say, no, we're on duty.
Can I make an etiquette or a negotiation roll to try and tempt them into drinking?
You can attempt it, yes. You do
With
not get
etiquette?
your empathy. You do not get your empathy software bonus.
Right.
When Pirate smells this and takes a sip of it, it's like, isn't this one of Mom's recipes?
And Sybil, remember, for every complex form that you sustain, you're at a -2 to everything else. Bear that in mind. And Prodigy, remember, for every 7 programs you load, you reduce the rating of all programs that are being run.
I'm lucky
Oh,
tonight.
Okay, sorry, I forgot that it wasn't just the programs loaded beyond the first that are down in 1, and then it's down 2 for every 7 past that.
It's down 1 for every 7.
And then it takes a 1 complex action to swap them? Or to swap in an individual?
I believe it's a simple matrix action. I'll double check that though. Deactivating a program is a simple action. Run a program is, yeah, you're right, it was a complex action.
So in other words, I can run with just the 7, and then I believe 5 matrix passes, 6 matrix passes in there, but one of those don't count because that's my old comlink. So I'm gonna make that one equipped because you should not have that. There. When it's equipped, he has a matrix initiative of 17. That's ridiculous. Anyways, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll run with the 4. With the original 7. Put those aside. I'll clean them up. I'll clean them up in a second, actually, because I expect that I will be swapping them over.
Okay. So, I only needed to thread the 1. Because I've got Analyze, Exploit, and Spoof all at rating 5 as complex forms.
Okay, and bear in mind, spoof, I had misinterpreted the rules in the past. Spoof is used specifically only when you're sending a fake command to a slaved device. Otherwise, it is exploit to take control of a node.
Okay. Then I'll swap that one out for not encrypt. Browse.
Out of character, why are you holding on to command?
If I want to command it, get rid of the logs that I connected in the first place.
That's exploit, isn't it?
Exploit would give you control. I believe edit is how you modify the logs. If you command is more for issuing commands to drones or for the comlink to do a specific activity. So
Okay. So I thought
To,
it would
to,
be.
to forge the logs, you would be editing the logs. So you'd use your edit software.
Okay. I thought it would be command due to the fact that you are commanding the program to.
I think previously, before I understood the rules better, I had you roll that in the past. So, yeah.
Okay. I also apologize for messing up your nice little diagram.
Nah, they're yours tokens now, so you get to move them where you want them.
I see. In that case. I can wait till later. I guess this is the first step. So, as I was saying a second ago, I get nothing from Osiris because we haven't completed him yet. So, what is the outcome for assistance from Sybil?
Depends on how you two want to run this. So you two can have some time in VR to quickly discuss what your plan of attack is.
Well, I'm already planning on having my agents help out with this. So basically, we're gonna be brute forcing one of their complex.
Brute forcing means we'll immediately get caught doing this.
Brute force is your only option unless you want to follow these people home and do this the long way.
That's true. So now the question is, how do we brute force it without them immediately knowing it's us?
Stealth.
Do you roll a single stealth roll for the entire?
You don't roll stealth at all. When you run stealth, you get its rating as a threshold bonus for them to detect you.
Is it okay? And is okay. And it's a stacking test every time, isn't it?
Yeah, every time you attempt to break in, they make an attempt to detect you. You have to beat your threshold target before they beat their threshold target.
Okay. Well, then I guess we're immediately going to try to burst. Well, I guess I'll analyze the comm links. They're probably all going to be identical, but if one is slave and is acting like the network between all the other comm links, similar to Prodigy's is with the rest of the Shadowrunner team, that would be one covered by a spider. If there is a spider for the team, it's going to that one. But it is also the one that's going to have the information we want. So it's... I can't remember the analogy. It's the prize hen. It's the golden egg. So we scan, find that one, and then connect to it as fast as I can with their assistance.
Lead the way, I'll follow.
Yeah, but before leading the way, I want a battle plan. I don't want to disconnect everyone, because that'll make it obvious. Edit the registry logs so no one can tell I connected. Is it not command to tell the thing to show me the logs, the information that I'm looking for?
Once you have admin access, you have admin access.
Well, okay, so we don't need to have a program to left click, open person, right click, download.
You would do a data search for Parsons' information.
Yes, okay.
And once you have it, you can decide, I am copying it.
Okay. Well, I mean, before I do that, I'd probably do analyze, I think, would still work, or would be edit to check to see if there's anything attached to it.
Analyze is always what you do to look at things. Edit
Okay.
is to go in there and change it. There is one other thing before, well, you can still do the analyze, but without breaking into the comlinks, there is one other method you could try and get lucky on, is intercepting traffic. So if they're sending Parsons files between one another, there's no guarantee they are, but if they are, you can intercept that information with a sniffer.
As well as if they send it back to Dogwagon HQ.
In that case, I think the first thing to do is scan. Or yeah, scan to collect all of the comlinks.
Well, okay, they weren't, the scan already happened. You already did that when
Oh,
you came up the
yeah, it's true.
elevator. So you know there are 4 comm links, and that each comm link has all sorts of other devices slaved to each of those 4. Basically, each person has one comm link, and each of their comm links has all of their everything plugged into that one comm link, and then each of those 4 comm links are connected as a tactical network.
Okay. And then I guess it's sniffer around that one. Okay, I guess that's the photo. So in that case, what's the role for that? Does Sybil start?
For what?
Sniffer. If I'm the primary and she's assisting me in my activities.
Well, you'd have to analyze first.
Oh, it's
Okay. So you're doing this analysis specifically to try, and you too might want to impersonate your matrix icons rather than your physical characters. But you were analyzing specifically what, to see where they were sending data to and from for your sniffer attempt, correct? Was there anything else specifically you wanted to know? There's a list of things you can check on page 228 of the core rulebook. It's matrix perception data. There's a list of about 12 to 15 things that you can ask.
access ID, alert status, data of a file.
And Sybil's Matrix persona is currently not on Shadowrun, Out of Nest, and on Edge.
Isn't it? I'm pretty sure I saw it there.
Goes from Spike to Sybil Thrax. There is no Sybil
Yeah,
Matrix.
I was wondering with that, but it's probably because it's on the far right. It's like a unicorn. Oh, sorry, it's a Pokemon probably.
Yeah, it's a
Here it
Ninetales.
is. Yeah, it's on the far right over there with Shadow, Static, and Fortress.
I'm not seeing them either.
Do you see my arrow? Zoom out.
No.
Okay, you're on the title page?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it looks like I somehow lost them from the title page. I guess I moved them to
Instead
the
of copied them?
penthouse. Yes.
Okay. That makes more sense.
You also moved prodigies as well. Well, I guess that's for another time though.
Oh, actually, no, I did that intentionally. I moved everyone's Matrix persona to the
To the
Matrix,
Matrix.
page. Yes,
I see.
that's why. Except for obviously like characters like Persephone, I kept her on the title page just because she only exists in the Matrix.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so which information were the two of you looking to acquire here? And from which of the comm links? Are you both looking at the same comm link, or are you two looking at two different comm links here?
The slave comlink isn't here, is it?
They're all slave to each other.
No. Each comm link is the master to the personal area network devices that are slaved to it. So each person has a bunch of devices physically on their body. All of those devices feed into one comm link that is also on that one person. Each person has one comm link. There are 4 comm links in total, 4 master comm links.
Okay. The original scan. Are these for identical comlinks, excluding the
You-
connections to them?
You did an analyze. You're choosing a single target that you're analyzing.
Okay, but I'm asking based on the information that I obtained from scan.
The scan doesn't give you analyze.
Oh!
Scan just tells you
Yeah.
where signals are going.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it possible that Sybil can analyze the tactical node, the tactical net?
The tactical net is not a node of its own. It is the information being transferred between the 4 comm links. It creates the network.
We're going for the same. We don't have icons, I guess. But
Okay, so looking at the physical people that are in there with Parson, are you looking at the 2 people that are physically examining Parson, the 1 person who seems to be issuing commands, or the 4th person who just seems to be observing from the back and holding the gear?
one of the 2 that are investigating Patterson.
I actually wouldn't say that because they're probably actively using their comm link. I'd say go with the one holding the gear.
Well, the one holding his gear has the most free attention. The ones that are already looking at, if we get detected, it doesn't matter what they're doing. Really.
The device automatically detects intrusion unless someone has like a spider monitoring an area.
The reason why I'm saying that is because they're already paying attention to something else, so they're busy. I don't know exactly the phrase I'm looking for, honestly, but
What I'm meaning is they could also actively be using their comm links to control their cyberware or enhance their scans of Parsons with their medkit stuff. But if we go with the guy who's literally just holding all the gear, he's not actively using his comm link.
You don't know that. He could be
Yeah.
like Mike. He could have a direct neural interface, and he could be literally that could be his entire job, is observing everything in the Matrix.
yeah, he could be the Prodigy or the Sybil or the Mike of this group. We already know that the leader guy is probably leading from potentially reading from a checklist or mentally going over a checklist of what they need to do. The other 2 people are literally listening, probably going through the comm links to increase their abilities to do it, but they're physically paying attention to something else. But at the same time, Analyze doesn't set off alarm bells, does it? And we're well within our right to scan people that are literally looking at our protection target.
Yeah, analyzing happens all the time. It's basically like if right here in TeamSpeak, if I click on one of you and read, what your version and I see that Desperado has an alignment avatar, that's me using analyze on him.
Or right-clicking in connection information. So you downloaded 119 KB this month. less than a percent of the loss. Anyways, let's just do it 4 times to make it so that we can get everyone's comlink.
All right, so first one is first one. I'll just assign based on my layout who that is. Does that sound appropriate?
Sure.
Okay. Sybil, you're in agreement?
Yep.
Okay, so you got 11 hits, 15 hits, 13 hits, and 10 hits total for each of them. What information are you looking for the one that you got the 11 hits?
Strength of the firewall and the system.
System and firewall on the first one are 6 and 6.
Are we able to detect other things?
Those are just what I was probing.
Are we also able to tell? Welcome back, Diablo. Are we also able to tell if there's how many people outside of this room are connected?
They seem to be transmitting signals to a nexus located somewhere else in the city.
Okay. What's a sec?
Sybil, ideas?
I just went with system and firewall because
Yep, but anything else you want to know?
programs.
What programs are being run? All
Yes.
right. So, do you want to know all of them? Or how many hits do you want to spend here? Let's put it that way.
What do you mean by hits we want to spend?
For when you roll the analyze, you got a number of hits. You got 11 hits on the first comlink. Each bit of information you ask for subtracts a certain number of hits from what you rolled. So you're down to having the information about the system, the firewall, and the fact that it's actively connected to a nexus somewhere else in the city. You have used 5 of the hits so far, and you have 8 remaining.
How many would it take to find out all the programs that are currently running?
It would take that many.
You would need to spend 1 hit to get the answer to that, and then 1 hit for every program running. Or you could just say, I want to spend this many hits to determine how many programs it's running.
So in other words, if we say sick and they have 4 programs open, we face a 2. If we say we want to scan and they only have 4, we've spent 5. If we scan 4 and there's 4 open, we don't know if there's a 5th. Are we allowed to spend 1 after we've checked?
Yep.
But in that case, it's literally the same as just asking immediately how many is open. It's rating 6 system, so it can have a maximum of 6 without overtaxing. They're probably not overtaxing due to the fact that they're at work, and they wouldn't. And these are business comlinks, so they have a maximum of 6 open. They don't have a maximum of 6. They have a optimal maximum of 6.
So you're asking to spend 6 hits.
Is there anything else that we really need to look for? We have 2 left afterwards. Hunter?
I thought we used 5.
We have system, firewall, connection to other nodes. That's 3. Is that not all we spent? What am I missing?
And the Nexus information was what cost 3 hits.
Okay.
So we only have 6 hits left.
You had 8 remaining. And
We only got
We only got 11 in the first one.
Did I miscount then?
Yes.
Oh, I did, didn't I? So that would be... Oh, so it was only 3. So yeah, I guess I didn't cost extra after all. Lucky you.
Oh. So it didn't cost.
I was misquoting the math, is what the issue was.
Okay.
That's what was throwing me off. I thought
Yeah,
you
so
said
okay,
we
you
used
have...
5.
Right, yeah. Okay, so sorry, my mistake. You would use 3. Are you using 6? Or are you using less than 6? Are you using 7?
Let's use 6.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know if you guys are seeing this stuff. I've been making it visible as we went.
Yes.
So you have 2 hits remaining. Any other information you want?
What information's coming out? Because the
It-
information.
it-
Oh, that's
sorry,
safe, I
so-
guess.
No. You want to know the type of information that is heading from it to the Nexus? It is encrypted information.
Haha. You know, we're gonna have to do. Is that like a sniffer to it's decrypt?
It's a sniffer to lock on, and
Yep.
then a decrypt to decrypt it.
Is that detectable
Are-
if you sniff and then decrypt information midair?
Sorry, what?
Would
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
would the initial person who sent the information or the nexus that is collecting it be able to detect that the information is being collected mid-air, that I'm sniffing it out and then decrypting the information? Or am I basically stealing it and stopping it from reaching the nexus?
I have.
Okay. To eavesdrop, you have to roll your sniffer test. The hits from this are the threshold to either detect the swooping. Okay. The hits from this test are the threshold for others to detect that the snooping is going on. The traffic may be copied and recorded, forwarded to a third party, yada, yada, yada. If you want to block or alter some of the traffic before sending it to its destination, you must use an edit action. To insert fake traffic, you must make an opposed test between your hacking skill and their firewall, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically, your sniff, what you roll on that test, you're guaranteed to intercept that information. As long as you get 1 hit. But that 1 hit then becomes their threshold to figure out someone is eavesdropping. So the more hits you get on a sniffer, the more difficult it is for them to realize someone is eavesdropping.
My question. Would either of my sprites be able to copy the encrypted data without decrypting it? And send it to
Let's see if
a
that's
file?
I have to check to see that one.
I am a networker, and I have a crack sprite and a data sprite.
I don't see anything of that nature listed here. Um, what I do see, though, is that where did it go? Intercept traffic. If the traffic is encrypted, you must break the encryption before it can be intercepted. And this data is encrypted. So you have to break the encryption before you can start sniffing it.
Oh, so I have to break the encryption before I can sniff it? Isn't that
That's what the rules say here.
that sounds quite backwards? How can I break encryption when I don't know there is one or what it is because I haven't obtained it?
No, but I already told you. Your analysis has told you this data is being sent in
Okay.
encrypted format.
And so, is it the same thing for decryption where my role for decrypting is
No. So to initiate cryptoanalysis, you have to have the decrypt program, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You do your role with electronic warfare as a skill. Um, your threshold is the encryption rating times 2. When you reach the threshold, the encryption is broken. When you break the encryption of a file, the file becomes decrypted. Duh. Sometimes those rules are just so stupid. When you use this on a node, you may access that node, but it remains encrypted to others. Okay, but this isn't an encrypted node, it's encrypted data. Once you have initiated cryptoanalysis, your decrypt program takes over and runs automatically. Running decrypt program can only work on one encryption at a time, but multiple decrypt programs can work on different encryptions simultaneously. So yeah, it doesn't look like they will know that you've decrypted. There doesn't seem to be any indication that they will have knowledge of that.
well? Then I guess that's the next thing to do is break the decryption.
Well, you have other comm links as well that you rolled analyzes on.
Yep. But at the same time, oh yeah, I guess I could. I guess I should just do this afterwards, huh? Okay.
Okay. Well, do you want the same information for the other comm links as the information you got for this one?
Yes.
Okay, so with the minimum of 10 hits already means you can get all this exact same information for all the others, and I am making them visible. Although technically you'll use up fewer hits because I assume you'd be wise enough to figure that these have a limit of system 5, so you'd only spend the 5 hits to reveal. So
Yeah. So I guess I just managed to get the one that was the 6.
15 minus 8 is 7, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So basically the bigger comm link is the one that's sending the information to the Nexus. Meanwhile, the other 3 smaller comm links are sending information to the bigger comm link before that information goes to the Nexus.
Okay. So the bigger comlink is also receiving information from the other comlinks. I forgot to ask you that half of the question, and I said, "What is it sending?" I didn't ask what is it receiving. Okay.
And I have another question is on top of that. How are they encrypting the data?
It seems that it's pre-encrypted.
Okay. I figured it out since I don't see any encrypts or decrypt on them.
I think decrypt is for cracking encryption. If you already have the proper codes and keys, you don't need it.
Yeah, decrypt is crack, encrypt is seal.
But basically, if someone is sending information to a comm link that already has the key, there's no no need to run that software at that time. The software was run when it needed to be run, and then the information is being sent appropriately.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, in that case, I suppose running decrypt on Comlink 1, specifically starting off information going to the Nexus.
Question, and firewall rating?
The other ones are really lower rating, but they're also not.
No, they're fives. It's 6 and 5s.
Yeah. So it's one higher, so it's one more difficult, but it is also receiving every piece of information going out and coming in. So these 3 are sending information to it. So if we can collect the information coming from those 3, if we can sniffer information it's receiving as well as sending, we basically just save the time of going through each individual one. So it is the golden egg.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Does my logic make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay, good. In that case, shall we?
I'll have to thread a decrypt.
Pottage, you won't know what that means. How are you gonna explain?
Give me a sec to activate my decrypt program.
Okay.
Which means I'm also now at a -2. I added in extra dice, but it was a 2 at the end, so it didn't add any. Read some more. Okay. I have to resist 3 fade. I'm good. So, I'm in VR. I get the +2 from Technomancer and the. Do I get the +2 for
Analytical mind?
Yep.
Yes.
One
Are
at
you
18.
commanding your sprites to help you with this?
Yes,
All right. So which sprites?
both.
What kinds are they?
I have a crack and a data.
Data does not have decrypt.
Okay, so then just
Oh wait, oh, my mistake. Oh, sorry, I got that backwards. Data does have decrypt. Crack, for whatever reason, decrypt is the optional ability.
would
But you get, okay, we never actually decided this in the past. You were supposed to. Would you choose decrypt for your crack sprite as your one extra complex form on it?
yes.
Okay.
So as rating 5, I only get 1 extra.
Rating 4, 3, 4, and 5 are 1. 6, 7, 8 are 2, 9, 10, 11, 3, etc.
Okay.
I'd like to smoke some crack spite.
No, you wouldn't.
So I have a +4 from my VR and analytical mind, so that's normally 18 -3 to 15.
What are your sprites ratings?
They're both 5. They are both rating 5.
Yep, and while we're here, static is the data, you said?
Static is the crack.
Oh.
Shadow
okay,
is
my
data.
mistake. So shadow is that, okay. Sorry, so I got those backwards. But what optional complex form would you like for shadow then? Your options are diffuse, encrypt, sniffer, stealth, or any linguasoft.
Sniffer.
Okay, so I'm going to roll for those two while you roll for yours.
And I'm going to edge this, so it's going to be 6 R 4. 8 hits on my decrypt.
I guess I should roll my own. Yeah, because this is important. I'm going to also edge this. And I get analytical mind?
Yes.
Yep. Though, sorry, before you do Prodigy, I was actually
Yep.
supposed to. We're doing a kind of a chain game of support. It was actually supposed to be the sprites that rolled first.
Sorry.
So I'm just trying to see here. So their pilot is their rating, which is 5. Their skill and such. So I guess that means 15 for the both of them because all of their pilots are the same. Yeah? Or is it based on response? And my apologies to all the other players who aren't hacking right now. This is part of why I want to revise the rules.
Yeah, that's part of Shadowrun.
Well, honestly, part of a lot of cyberpunk is one of the issues of cyberpunk hacking.
And the
Okay,
horrible
so-
part is this is still simpler and quicker than real life hacking.
So how many bonus die would I get?
Six. So another 6 SR4E for you, Sybil.
So a total
Okay.
of 9 hits.
Twister, you get a bonus 4 from Sybil's assistance on this.
The big issue of this hack is that no one has names like Zero Cool or Phantom Freak or Serial Killer or Crash Override.
Or acid burn.
Yeah.
Or Hacksaw Saxaw. Haxosaurus Rex. Haxosaurus Hax. Ah!
Yes, as long as none of them have the name Fast Jack.
shit.
16 hit.
Okay. That's enough to get it in 1. This is usually supposed to take you all some time, but you managed to get it in your first attempt here because you all worked together as a team.
Yep.
So you now have the data stream decrypted, but you're still not actually picking up what
Sniffer.
the information is, indeed, until you start sniffing.
Now, one question is, because there's 3 streams in and 1 stream out, is that 4 different streams of information we have to decrypt? Have to sniff?
Yes, like you can only target one stream of data with one sniffer program.
Okay.
So
Does decrypt cover? Well, I guess we have to know if they're all being encrypted with the same format. You can assume that.
Well, you had enough hits with your analyze earlier, so I'll say yes.
Okay.
You were able to detect that they were all using the same encryption algorithm.
Okay, that's good. I guess the first thing the first thing we want to know is what's going out. So we'll sniffer out 1.
So, sorry, you're looking at the data stream between the rating 6 and the Nexus.
Correct.
Okay.
I figured I'll just refer to them as 1, 2, 3, and 4, as you already have them pre-numbered, and it saves us the time instead of calling them 6 and then.
Sorry,
5.
just a second.
That's fine.
Sorry, my parents were talking to each other, but my mom was looking at me when she was talking, so I thought she was talking to me. Sorry, you were saying.
I figured for simplicity's sake, I'm calling it rating 6 and then rating 5 1, rating 5 2. We just call them 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Okay. So Comlink 1 and the Nexus.
Yeah. Data or static assist on this one.
I know Shadow can.
If they have the sniffer.
Shadow.
So
I
yes,
just got sniffer for Shadow.
Okay.
How about static? My crack spray.
Cracks have analyze, exploit, and stealth normally.
Okay.
However, it can attempt to use its power suppression. The sprite has an innate ability to confuse firewalls that detect the sprite engaging in illegitimate activity. Anytime the sprite triggers an alert, oh, this is only if the sprite triggers the alert. Never mind. So that doesn't really work. And stenography and watermark, I don't think are appropriate here either. Yeah, sorry, never mind. The power isn't actually useful. My apologies. Carry on.
Okay, so then just Shadow will help. Rating 5 with sniffer. I think I can drop decrypts now and pick up.
So that'll offer you a +2 bonus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll my sniffer real quick. I'm gonna resist that, I hope.
Do you need to take all of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so I take another 3 point.
see down to.
Oh yeah. Sybil now has a massive headache. Rating 5.
Does it really surprise anybody that working with Prodigy gives her a headache?
He said I have a bonus of 2.
That is correct, yes.
Well, when they're done, they can refresh with the drink. So
No analytical mind. A sniff.
Analytical mind does not apply. Also, technically, this should be a lot more difficult. I just only realized what the rules are now. So I'm not changing it on you for this instance, but for future reference, you have to have, you have to be in all of the nodes that the data is being wired through. But I'm going to say in this instance, because of the building's security and the fact that the building's security has been you've been permitted to use it. All of the data that the Dockwagon employees are sending is first getting routed through the buildings node before being routed again to Dockwagon
That's
headquarters. Yeah.
We appreciate the sympathy.
Oh shit.
What have you
What?
done?
So spend an edge and you can erase the glitch.
Only way I could is if I burn an edge.
You're at 0 edge?
I only have one, and I pre-edged earlier.
Why would you pre-edge earlier?
The same reason you did, because it was the same roll.
Yeah, it was the decrypt roll that I pre-edged.
Yes, but Prodigy has more edge than you do.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal for him.
I always keep myself at 1 edge for critical situations. Actually, I don't think I think I've spent it once. I think there's only been one time where I've spent all of the edge.
So your decision here, Sybil, is either burn or accept a glitch.
You have to burn to be 0.
Wow, I didn't know you could do that.
If you burn an edge here, you will give Prodigy a +2. If you don't, though, your glitch will have negative repercussions. That
And remember, we're dealing with a AA company.
Well, this is already a spoofed ID.
Actually, quick question: when Prodigy's working on this, can I spend an edge to understand that that's an issue and drop it completely?
no, because she glitched.
So I can't spend an edge to counter a glitch.
It wasn't your glitch. It was
No,
her
but it's
glitch.
directly
Yeah, but you can only spend edge on your own glitches.
I will think though that if we are discovered by Dockwagon, I don't think they would get the cops in on this.
Why not?
Because that would look bad on them. And the cops
They don't
here in
care.
England are public. So it would go into, if they go to the cops with this, it's public record. And then it becomes public record that their company security was not enough to keep these idiots out.
Dockwagon isn't one of the Big Ten. Dockwagon is one of the few good companies out there who cooperate with other people and actually undermine the Big Ten.
Okay.
The only thing they will do against the Big Ten is invade their sovereign territory.
And the reason they would go to the cops right away? Oh, someone cracked our security and nearly stole patient confidential files. We made sure to lock them up right away before they could do anything with them.
Specifically, a government employee.
Yeah. So
In other words, if I get on this, Prodigy's fucked.
Sorry, Frosty. We should hopefully be done with this shortly. So,
Burning.
if you don't think you can hold out for another 10 minutes, then sleep well and best of luck on the surgery and the move.
Sybil is now at 0 edge.
You are burning. Okay. Prodigy, you get a +2 here.
No analytical mind?
Sorry, what did you say?
And no analytical mind?
No, Zephyr does not utilize analytical mind.
Okay. Well, I am not going to edge this this time.
That's pretty good, I think.
I don't know if the Nexus is trying to detect this, because that could be a bad thing.
Hello, I'm still connected, I hope.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Okay, it was just so
we're just
quiet, I
waiting.
was worried.
I'm basically just shooting myself in the head emotionally.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, here's the thing. The Nexus can roll to detect us,
Yeah.
and he can roll to detect us. I only got 8 hits. Which,
Well,
So,
I
like,
hope my drinks
I-
kind
I-
of distract him from detecting.
No, he's. So Twister,
yep.
sort of this malaise might be kind of hint hint wink wink nudge nudge. Are you going to do anything before I make my final roll?
When was the last time Edge reset?
At the start of this session.
Okay, so I have 4 left. I'll take the hint, nudge, nudge. I'm glad this cannot become a glitch. 15.
I don't want to show you the size of this dice pool, but I'm going to just so you know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah. No, I already know. It's probably about 32. That's my guess.
Is hacking always with such big dice pools?
With my version of the rules, yes, because
Okay.
I don't like excluding people's attributes. I mean, if you've got a massive logic, why the fuck would you be as good a hacker as someone who has one logic?
Okay, just, yeah, it seems like a huge dice pool compared to other skills and such.
It is, because rules as written, you exclude the attributes. For what, like, they did that so that your dice pool is smaller, so you're not rolling physically 26 dice. But when we're
It's
using
still-
map tool, we can roll that many dice easily.
And not to mention it's Shadowrun, you're already rolling shit tons of dice anyway.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible to like punch as that high. Unless you have like, I don't know, 10 levels of initiation or something. But like Athena's already punching.
Wow, you lucky son of a bitch.
Okay. So it's not as large as I thought. But yeah.
Well, no, but like even
Equal
if,
to
if I,
you.
even if we added them together, you're yeah, you got lucky. The edge, I think, was still an edge well spent to make sure that you don't, suffer a heart attack here.
Am I aware? Is Prodigy aware at all?
No, I
okay.
only rolled that publicly so you as players wouldn't accuse me of being a dick behind
Okay.
the shadows.
Okay.
But basically, you are now intercepting their information, and just because it's getting so late, let's wrap this up. You will be receiving the information they're receiving, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. They check up on Parson. They determine that he's under a great deal of stress. You two, Sybil and Prodigy, will also notice that on occasion, they send messages to Wolf as well. So stuff they're not actually saying out loud, despite Wolf being in the room with them, they're sending text messages to Wolf, and Wolf is replying.
That's shady.
But before either of you get the chance to intercept that information, they'll stop. So you won't get the chance to actually find out what else they're talking about. But physically, what they say is, oh yes, so Mr. Parson here, Alderman Parson, his medical condition is worse than last time. He really should consider dropping out of the race. Parson and Wolf will both say that is not an option. Thank you for your medical professional opinion, but it is our decision to continue with the election. They're going to say, all right, well, as soon as the election is done, then we strongly recommend taking a prolonged holiday because these levels of stress could end up being fatal if they continue to grow at the rate they're growing. You know, he could suffer an aneurysm or a heart attack or something just because he's under such immense blood pressure and issues. But for now, we're going to prescribe some medication that will help him get under control. Parson asks, well, is this medication going to limit my abilities as a professional to be at the debate and such? They'll say yes. Some of the side effects are decreased cognitive alacrity. Basically, it'll take you a little bit longer to think. And Parsons like, I don't care, I'm not taking it. Meanwhile, Wolf is saying, no, sir, I think for your health, it's important that you at least maybe not take the recommended dosage, but at least take a little. You know, and they get into a bit of an argument, but the
A
doctor
drink
says-
pretty much does the same.
User disconnected from your channel.
They will all stop arguing just to give Whiskey a death glare.
It's true.
Frosty's already disconnected, hasn't he? Yeah. So, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll roll on his behalf, I guess, here. So, Penthouse. Parson impersonate. Fuck it. Me a drink.
Ah, there you go. And she, well, shoves the glass to him a bit.
The medical professionals say this is seriously not the recommended course of action. You cannot mix your medication with alcohol. Wolf will be like, sir, I agree. This is really early in the morning as well, sir. Parson will say, I just need the one drink. Just
Aye, just the
get
one
me
drink.
This. So yeah, Parsons, pretty strong drink as well that he's taking early in the morning. He hasn't even had breakfast. But the medical professionals will say, well, we've done what we can. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patronage. Please do what you can to stay alive because we want you to continue to be one of our clients. Don't go killing yourself. Wolf will thank them for their time. Parson will be kind of muttering unto himself as he's drinking. And off the dock wagon employees will go. Grim says, Whiskey, I swear, go find something else to do or we may have to rename you Fireball.
All right. I'll see that. I'll see the dog wagon people out, and then watch the door.
Okay, Prodigy, technically this was your sniffer. So are you going to share this with Sybil or are you going to be greedy gumshoes?
No, if well, it would be really counterintuitive to the critical glitch he obtained to have that ideology. So he's gonna share it.
All right, so the two of you didn't get what was coming through at the beginning, obviously. You didn't start sniffing until later. But what you'll see is a lot of medical information that neither of you can honestly make heads or tails of. You'd need a doctor to tell you what all this means. If you wanted, you could try doing something like WebMD.
That can wait. We already have. We're cataloging the information. You already have 13 stages of cancer. We don't know. We don't know how. Sorry, but go on.
Well, that's what I was saying to you. You have this information. All you're doing right now is cataloging it, you said?
Yeah.
Well, why don't both of you go ahead and roll data searches just to see if anything jumps out at you?
Okay. Should I be rolling anything extra? I guess we haven't done anything from a data haven.
I'm dropping both of the threads I
Threaded
have,
complex forms, yep.
and I'm threading a new one.
Okay. Sybil, the mistress of headaches.
Yeah, especially since she has now a 7 dice pool for her thread.
Not a real glitch, at least. By 1.
Watch, I'm gonna miss this. Out of 10 SR4. Hey! Okay. Still gonna thread more.
Wow, that's relatable. You don't even have any edge to burn.
No.
So yeah, since I just wanted to get this session over with, we have a choice you can make here as a player, Hunter. We either defer this critical glitch to that edge-based thing I had mentioned I was replacing. So anytime you folks glitch or critical glitch on one of those edge tests, it ticks a doom clock closer to midnight, basically, for your character's comeuppance. So you can either put this into that, or we can do a one-on-one shitty situation that Sybil has to deal with right now.
Is it possible for me to say she just takes some physical damage from
Nope.
trying to thread this?
Nope.
I guess it's...
Is the doom clock for the group or for each individual character?
Doom clock is for each individual character.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering that as well.
shitty situation.
Okay, so you and I will do that as a one-on-one. All right, so for now, Sybil's just in VR as far as any of you are aware. Prodigy, she's receiving your data, but she doesn't seem to respond to you. Maybe she's just doing something else. After all, Prodigy, you're searching through this data, looking for anything that stands out. But you're seeing a lot of terms that you don't quite recognize. You know, there's information about, where was it? Genetic modifications, protein exchange, dinomiditan, qualia, react, or whatever, cultured genetic material, genetic optimizations. You're receiving a lot of information about Aldersman, Connor, Doyle, Parson, whatever. It sounds like he's received a great deal of genetic treatments, but you don't know what all of this does.
This is a situation where it might literally be all Greek to you.
Well, they do use some Greek words in medicine, that's true.
Yep. Well, he's still going to catalog it, even if it isn't immediately helpful. It might eventually.
Do you want to roll a knowledge skill that you might possess to comprehend some of this?
Well, I mean, I have technology, data havens, shadow community, and security companies, so I don't think any of them would apply. Is that accurate as a statement?
Roll technology.
All right.
You recognize some of the terms as being related to medical technical procedures that like, Prodigy shopped around a bit before getting his sleep regulator, right?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, so you recognize some of these words showed up in the same places that when you were doing research for your own biomodding. So the indication seems to be that Parson is genetically augmented, biological, bioware, something of those natures.
I see.
I mean, that's hardly surprising, though. I mean, tailored pheromones, as illegal as they are still a popular implant. Well, anything else from anybody else before we wrap this up?
No, not much I can do, I think.
You could
I mean,
grab
afterward, I can
Lawrence
get
and throttle him.
I can get in contact with some of my contacts, but we can do that, tomorrow or something. Like if they pass the state on to me and they say we need a doctor, I know one.
Yeah, the
That's true,
closest
Prodigy
thing
is
I
sharing
got
it.
would be Thrax, who has a very high fat tech, but I don't know if that would apply.
And Prodigy, you're sharing this information with everyone, correct?
Yes. Can you tell if data is being sniffered?
That was the whole point of the roll I made.
It's true. Can I roll to see if any of my information is being sniffered?
By all means.
Thank you. And that is
Matrix awareness, so analyze.
and that's without analytic. Oh, that is with analytic mind, isn't it?
Uh,
Well, it's literally analyze.
yeah, go ahead. As far as you're aware, nobody is sniffing you right now.
Okay.
Basically, if you ever do get sniffed, I roll in private. So you don't even know unless I tell you that you've succeeded.
That's fair. And if that is the case, I'm guessing you would not let me roll it a second time on my own.
Well, if I told you you've detected it, the only time I tell you is if you've detected it.
Oh, so in this case, it was literally pointless for me to ask and to roll because.
I don't want to discourage you.
Well, I mean, it is quite discouraging to know that. In the future, I won't ask. That's the end of that.
The answer is, how paranoid is Prodigy? Does he randomly check his
Yes.
data trail?
Yes, Prodigy is that paranoid, and Twister is apparently that paranoid too because they literally just did it.
So one of the things that just kind of drives me up the wall with a bit of a psychotic giggle is this entire session, 4 hours, took place in game in what amounted to like a half hour.
Yeah.
So to make things go by even faster for next time, Parson is going to declare that he is bringing people in to do the Tridio interview and debate. And there's nothing any of you can do to change his mind. He needs this to happen. He's bringing these people in. He's worked with them in the past. He expects all of you to make sure it's not some assassin in disguise. So when they show up, go ahead. Check them out. Strip them naked if you need to. They'll they know what their jobs are, and if they've got a problem with my new level of security, they can find work somewhere else. But I trust these people will cooperate because they want to keep their jobs. And I'll just go ahead and I'll make these people visible. I'm not going to bother giving them names right now, but if you as players want to come up with names for these 5 tokens, go ahead and send them to me. Just also make sure you talk amongst each other about who it is that you're naming, so that you don't all give one name to one character and the other 4 are left without any names.
We shall all go by its name, Samson.
So there's a fashion mage, there's a trio expert, a debate coach, and 2 different assistants. Also, I think Twister's breathing into his microphone.
That's not me.
Oh, it's someone else. Who was it this time?
I won't push the talk, so.
Bye-bye.
And wow, that radio expert is pretty heavily wired up, it seems. Going by the picture.
Cameras are the eyes. The cameras are the eyes.
Yeah, that reminds me of a Rick and Morty thing. I'm not staring at you. I'm only taking your photo. But some of you might recognize these tokens as characters who existed in a previous mission.
Some of them died.
Yes, some of them died. Okami should know.
Yeah, I believe I killed those.
These were tokens I used for head cases back in the Russia mission.
Okay.
So yeah, you won't. Sorry, El Diablo and Desperado won't know though. But anyway, so I'm not even bothering to give them names because none of these people are the assassin this time.
So,
Okay, let's kill
wait.
five.
What was going to happen? The Aiden St. George and Walter Chalice, the assassins you've bought out, Aiden St. George was going to infiltrate with this group.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we already had his picture, did we not?
He's a mage.
There were spells to change what you look like.
That's fair, I suppose.
But then again, you did also have the magical wards. So there could have been some issues there. But anyway, that was just to let you know, this was going to be a situation where an assassin was going to make it in, but, was going to attempt to make it in, rather. But because you bought those assassins out of character, as players, I'm letting you know you don't have to worry about these people.
Still sounds like we should probably kill all 5 of them just to make sure.
Or do we?
What did
Because-
Okami show up? Sorry, Kara. Have a good night. But just before you disconnect from the audio as well, Kara, I just want to state Parson is bringing these people in for the next, for today and the next day. He's going to have them setting up his living room here for the Trio debate. He's going to have them doing speech lessons, coaching, or not speech lessons, but the debate coach, basically saying, all right, they're going to ask you about this. They're going to ask you about this, stuff like that. Fashion Mage is going to make sure Parson looks his best. All of that information. But yeah, basically to speed things along, Tuesday and Wednesday, the rest of both of those days will be uneventful unless your player characters make something happen. Thursday is going to be the big day because that's the rescheduled debate day.
Can I assume that Whiskey gets proper rest then?
Yes, that's basically what I was throwing all of you a bone of a full day of rest.
Okay, that's, what was it again, 2 times body or such for healing?
Correct, yes. Your body times 2, but subtract the penalty from your wound modifier.
From the full roll, right.
Correct, yes.
Okay, that's back up to full.
How much damage had you taken?
6. Well, I had
Yeah.
more, but I got first aided, so...
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to double check real quick. Each hit heals 1 box of physical damage. Yeah, you are fully healed.